disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing.
Lobito!
Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, Open Lines Friday edition for everybody, which means you are the star. Anybody's welcome over here. Everybody's welcome on this fine Friday evening. Quite cold outside, but of course here at the BDA headquarters we're nice and comfy, ready for another all-out mayhem pandemonium show for you fellas, and we hope you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a very special show involving Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Supposedly the purse bid has concluded. 40 mil, cool 40 mil, courtesy of Frank Warren. We want to talk about Demetrius Andrade as well, moving up to 168 and not fighting Janibek. Want to get your thoughts on that. Gary Russell Jr. complaining about how he feels he won 9 out of 12 rounds or even 10. We didn't talk about that last Friday. We did talk about it on Sunday, but many of you weren't there, obviously, because it was not an Open Lines Friday. But, fellas, before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. You know the drill. If you want to keep the train rolling, you can donate a couple of shekels via the Super Chat. But we prefer if you join the membership program, because that way we can give you a couple of emojis, badges. We're always updating film analysis, so you get something more in return. YouTube takes about 30%, and then the government takes the rest. So you're essentially donating money to the government and YouTube. So maybe if you do it via PayPal, we got a PayPal website as well, which you can donate. But of course, the most important thing, fellas, is that you continue to like and subscribe and support us by listening and by spreading the BDA gospel. All right? Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm talking about SSC, Omar E. says, Happy Friday, BDA, right by Katja. Punch Smollett, Marcy D, Team Batman Boxing, Blue Collar Sport TV. Check out Blue Collar Sport TV, aka Delboy, and his second channel, non-boxing, Disturbed Reality, which is quite disturbing indeed, let me tell you. I'm a delicate flower and I can't watch many of those videos. Shout out to Polysaurus Vexed. Polysaurus Vexed or Vexed? K-Nut, Boxing Pound for Pound Jack, Rapax Trucking Company says, just in time for my Friday drive. Viva VDA. All right, right back at you, Rapax. Hopefully you are you part of the convoy, by the way? Because if so, double kudos to you. Shout out to Marcy D. Says, BDA King Bucho, BDA King Bucho, BDA King Bucho. Let's go. Shout out to the Quacks, Mega Man, Just Brian, Eddie Valenzuela, WK Devin, Reverend Pickles, Lucky Zim, the Can Man, Raphael Garza says, Demetrius Dudu Andrade, Doc Janibek, and the next Doc, Devin Haney, will not fight Kambosos. The common denominator here is Matchroom. Oh, and shout out to Iceman as well. Fellas, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we got quite an array of news here. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte apparently will be fighting. They already came out with the poster. But I got a couple of questions and doubts about whether this fight will really transpire. Like I said, Demetrius Andrade also in the news. Gary Russell Jr. Chocolatito was supposed to fight El Gallito Estrada in the rubber match. That fight not happening because Estrada said he wasn't, or claimed that he wasn't ready to train properly because of the lingering effects of the COVID. So they're bringing in Julio Cesar Martinez, a big puncher, and already people around the internet community are saying, seems like they want to get Chocolatito out of there against a younger, perhaps more marketable at this point in their careers or their respective star. So want to talk about all that. Listen, fellas, without any more prevarication here, let me show you how this works. We got a Discord, all right? You can sign in. You don't have to verify with an email or anything of that sort. You just put in a username, password, and boom, you're in, all right? So just don't forget the password because you're going to need it later on. So this is the Discord, all right? You can see here, there's something that says voice channels. See there on the upper part? It's flashing. Click on the speaker and you should be good to join the rest of the panel. You will be on the air. Keep in mind, don't spurg out. Try to keep it boxing. Don't use any racial slurs. It's not me, man. It's YouTube. They don't like that type of stuff. If it were up to me, you could say whatever you want up in here, but them days are gone. All right? So just try to act like a human being. And don't hug the mic too much. All right? That's about it. Keep in mind, too, that this is a show that's very hectic. It's pandemonium. That's what we want on Fridays. We want to wake people up from the slumber that can be created from the long work week. So if you're expecting a civil discussion here, we don't always get that here, all right? You never know what to expect on Open Lines Friday, so keep that in mind, all right? And by the way, we let anybody in. So if this place fills up to about 30 people and it becomes a Royal Rumble, hey, everybody, you got to fight to get your word in. You know, I can intervene every once in a while for you. Recognize can do it as well if he's here, or some of the other regulars, they can act as enforcers. But for the most part, it's every man for himself, all right? So without further ado, let me go into the, there you see. So you see I'm there, and I'm waiting for somebody to join me so we can talk about all this malarkey going on in the boxing world. Let me show you the headline here from boxingnews.com. It says, Frank Warren wins a purse bid with a record 41 mil purse bid. Can you believe that? He beat Eddie Hearn. I didn't know that Frank Warren still had this type of clout, this type of money, this type of moolah available to him. And apparently the split will be, this is what they're alleging, Fury's going to get somewhere in the vicinity of 32, they say, according to the article, and Dillian Whyte will get 9 mil. But fellas, the more pressing question here is, will this fight happen? Because I'm not all that confident in Tyson Fury. I got to tell you. This is the same guy that never defended his heavyweight title. He's very hectic mentally. He marches to the beat of his own drum. You never know what's his game. And he's not averse to playing mind games and all of a sudden threatening to pull out of fights and so on and so forth. We got somebody jumping in here. Cardo52. Cardo, are you there? Cardo, can you hear me? Well, I can't hear you, man. You might have to activate on your settings. You gotta, Discord settings, you gotta activate your microphone, make sure everything's working. Let's see what people in the chat room are saying here. Hold on a second. Let me activate the chat room here. Hold on a second. Stream your Discord.
Yeah, my bad. I had my mic muted.
That's so fine, man. That's fine. Good to have you on board, man. Thank you for jumping in. What are your thoughts on this Dillian Whyte Fury fight? First of all, I got to ask you, before we get into the technical aspects of the fight itself, do you think this fight's going to happen? All right. Cardo is having issues with his microphone. Meanwhile, let's go to the chat room here. See what people have to say about it. There we go. Happy fight.
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, I was talking. Yeah. I'm asking you, man. What do you think about this? Do you think this fight's even going to happen, Fury Whyte, or do you think Fury's going to come out with some of his mind tricks, his gypsy mind tricks? All right, listen, Cardo, I'm gonna you're killing me over here, man. Let's read a couple of comments from the chat here. Loki Zim says, if that was AJ, would Eddie have lost? LOL. That's a good question. Joker says, Fury is a few donuts away from retirement. He certainly seems to be getting fatter, that's for sure. And I don't know, man, it doesn't seem like he's going to be slimming down. Although, what do you guys think? Should he slim down for the Whyte fight, or should he try to come in heavy as he's done before and just try to wrestle Dillian Whyte until he tires him out? That's an interesting question right there. Marcy D says, I expect Fury's jab to win the fight on points, but it'll be a close fight, I think. Lucky Zim says, I actually do think this one will. Tyson has nowhere to run. Oh, this one will, he said. He thinks it's going to happen. Well, let me tell you something. Dillian Whyte has fought taller fighters before. Robert Helenius, Marius Wack, but of course, none of those guys are as good as Tyson Fury. But, Tyson Fury, the last time he fought somebody similar to Dillian Whyte, actually, they're not that similar, but Chisora the second time, he really put a nasty slap beating on the guy. Slapped him until violently until the corner stopped the fight. I can't help but wonder that maybe Dillian Whyte, of course, Dillian Whyte's better than Chisora. He's taller. He also has a better jab and so on and so forth. I think he's going to put on a better performance, but I don't know if he can beat Tyson Fury. We got Starkador on the line. Starkador, are you there? Or Starkador? How do you say your name again, Starkador? Some gosh darn Norse, ancient Norse. All right, he's having issues with his mic as well as you can see. And at the same time, the comment section here is having some trouble.
It's because we can't. You have to unmute your mic. We can't hear you on Discord.
You talk about me? Oh, shit. Hold on a second. They're saying they can't hear me. That's strange.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. That's strange. I didn't believe I'd changed anything. Give me 2 seconds and I'll change everything here. Come on, what the fuck? Where is it? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, because I was muted. My goodness gracious, my mistake. I'm sorry, fellas. I was killing you. You weren't killing me. All right, listen, Cardo, let's start with you, man, because I fucked up here. What do you think? Do you think this Whyte versus Fury fight is even going to happen?
Yeah, well, I think Fury gets 80% of the purse, which means Dillian Whyte would get like 8 million or something, right?
Yeah.
So he got paid like 2 something for Chisora or so. Who the fuck did he fight last? Oh, that white dude. Was he Russian or something? Yeah, I mean that'd be his biggest payday. Why the hell wouldn't he do it?
Well, I'm talking about Tyson Fury more specifically. The guy has. It appears he only wants the biggest fights out there. He doesn't really want to commit to the mandatories and so forth. So he just wants either Joshua or Usyk or maybe Wilder a fourth time. He doesn't want to fight guys. It doesn't appear like he wants to fight guys like Whyte and Joseph Parker is his friend and those type of fellas. So I don't know if he's gonna pull out of this fight or something.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, fuck, 32 million. That's more than he made with any other Wilder fights. I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't know if he'll turn that down.
Well, apparently now he's saying that he's pissed at everything that's been going on and that he wants people. In fact, Bob Arum recently tweeted or told somebody rather that Fury has requested Big Baby Anderson to be flown over to the UK so that they can start getting some sparring going. So it appears like the fight will be happening, but I'm not sure, man. Starkador, what do you think about it? By the way, how do you say your name again? Starkador?
Yeah, it's Starkador.
Starkador.
Or Starcad.
Starkador. Well, what do you think, man? You think this fight happens?
I mean, like, on paper, I think the WBC has to, at this point, just to save face, keep up the rules. But with the way this negotiation has gone on, the way it's been dragged out, it just has all the signs of a positive COVID test or maybe another drug test, like maybe trace elements of nandrolone. I mean, you brought up Big Baby Miller. Maybe that could be the competition. Who can, fail for the most PEDs, him or Fury?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, go ahead, Cardo.
I don't know if you guys seen that video that Fury put out. He said that Dillian Whyte didn't want to fight him. So he was pushing Joshua or Usyk to either fight quick or fucking for Joshua to step aside and let him fight Usyk. Pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it hinges on. I think they're just trying to save face here, but in the background, they're really seeing if they can finagle like an undisputed fight or a fight with AJ or something. Although I bet they'd probably still want to wait on the fight with AJ, until he can fall back into good graces.
From a marketing standpoint, it appears to me that they would prefer to make the Fury Whyte fight because it's two British guys. So right then and there in England, they could make more money. Dillian Whyte's going to talk during the build-up to the press conference. The build-up to the fight. Tyson Fury is going to be very vocal as well. So they're going to probably sell with this. Whereas if it was Fury versus Usyk, Usyk's just going to sit there giving him the 1,000-yard death stare. Fury's going to maybe talk, maybe he
I am feel.
Yeah, I am feel. So it seems like, if they were able to generate this much money for the purse bid, maybe they looked at the numbers and they said, yep, this is what we're willing to put in because we're going to make that in return. And we're going to make more than that in return. We got Kenshiro via the UK. Kenshiro, what do you think about this Fury Whyte deal? Do you think it happens, first of all?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. If Whyte doesn't take it, then he's blown another chance. So he's obviously going to. I don't know. I believe it's $41 million or £41 million, but I don't know what the cut is. What's the cut? Is it 75-25?
Apparently it's 8 for Whyte and about 32 for Fury.
Look, let's be honest. Has Whyte ever earned more than 2-3 million in his life in one fight?
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know about the
I doubt it. So he needs to shut his mouth and just take the fight, let's be honest, because he's not going to get nothing else. Who's going to fight for peanuts again? Chisora? So he's going to have to accept. Listen, when you're the A side, you can dictate. Looks like Floyd Mayweather. He used to dictate things like that, isn't it? So I can't remember who said it, but somebody. I think it might be Jimmy who said it when Canelo fought. Who's the last dude he beat? But when he fought Thingamajig, the guy got not peanuts but low money. But as Jimmy said, if you win, then the rematch can get a lot more money, like Andy Ruiz and AJ the second fight. So either Dillian takes it or he does it. He took him nearly 5 years or however many years it did as a second WBC semi-thingamajig holder. So he needs to take the fight and just hope for the best for himself.
You make a salient point, man. It's do or die right now for Dillian Whyte. We've already seen this guy flatlined before and shaken up, even in the fights he's won. So it's only a matter of time before somebody else takes him out. He's very dangerous himself, but he's not invincible. So this is the fight he wanted. I'm pretty sure he would have preferred Anthony Joshua. But hey, this is about as good as it gets. And it appears like he's accepting this payday. And do you guys think this is his last chance, or this being the heavyweight division, you think he's got another 6 years to go before he actually retires?
How old is he? How old is he? Early to mid 30s?
He's got to be in his mid 30s, I think. Let me check. But yeah, be that as it may, while I check, do you guys think? What do you got? Okay, let's go one by one here. Starkador, what do you think are the Whyte's chances for winning this fight?
His chances of beating Fury,
Yes.
I'm not sure. Like, it depends what Fury shows up. If Fury is in, real proper boxing shape, he can, move and bang the way he did with Chisora. And like Whyte's a little sharper, but he's had many. Like when he fought that big Russian guy, he didn't look too impressive. So yeah, I would say that like maybe a 30% chance in the event that Fury doesn't take him seriously. I don't give him a great chance, but I can see him kind of hitting him with some left hooks to the body and asking some questions of Fury that he might not want to have to go through, as he looks for bigger things. So that's kind of my read out there. But to your point about the AJ fight, I actually think that win or lose, that fight is still there for Whyte because of the domestic rivalry.
Well, case in point, look at Kell Brook versus Amir Khan, right? It's way past its expiration date, and yet they're still going to do it, and it's sold out. So don't underestimate the British public.
A quick point on that, actually. I'm a little
Starkador, you cut out, man.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was going to say I'm a little disappointed about Amir Khan in this because, this whole time I was actually impressed by how much he clearly hated Kell Brook to where he would just not take the fight just to not give this guy a payday. I always thought that was the kind of storyline there, and I always thought that was pretty impressive.
No, I'll tell you what, it's because, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think he probably knew that there was a chance he could lose, and I don't mean like a small chance, I think a decent chance. And I don't think he wants to lose to him, because if he loses to him, and that's like you're losing to the worst enemy you can lose to. So I don't know if he's just going for one final payday and he thinks, well, screw it, if I lose, or what, but that's what I think. He was thinking he could probably get the Floyd Mayweather fight or Pacquiao fight sometime, and he didn't want to lose to Kell Brook from that sense, and plus for his own manhood.
I definitely heard that, but I'm thinking circa 2016, 2017, when that fight was still, ripe enough, after they both got knocked out by middleweights, let's say, they had a little who did it worse kind of competition with Golovkin and Canelo. I always felt like Brook, I think there was a point where he went on some kind of survival show or something, and there are all these memes like, get out of the jungle and fight Kell Brook. He would just refuse to do it. Then he fought like Billy Dib or something, and then he went for a Terrence Crawford fight, for no reason. And I don't think he even got paid that much, like 6-7 million, which is a lot for a boxer. But I think Amir Khan has pretty good star power. So I always thought that it was just this genuine animosity towards Kell Brook, where he'd rather the guy just, because Kell Brook hasn't made that much money in his career, he'd rather the guy just not get a good payday and have to retire in poverty. I thought that was always a pretty savage attitude to take towards a rival.
Well, you know what, man? That's a good point. But Amir Khan, where we're talking about ages, Dillian Whyte, going back to him for 2 seconds, he's 33, by the way, whereas Amir Khan is 35. And he's a guy that relies on his hand speed. He's also a guy that's, as we all know, perhaps one of the chiniest.
The Skype videos.
Right. And listen, perhaps one of the worst chins in boxing for a world-class fighter. So I'm not surprised why he took this fight. He probably looked at his options, and his managers probably told him, look, listen, these are what's available for you out there, and this is the fight could get you the most money as your career nears its end. And why not? You tidy up all loose ends. You fight a guy that you've wanted for a long time. I mean, or at least, that you've had this rivalry for, and then you get a lot of money for it too. So that's why I'm interested in this fight. I got no problem with it. I mean, come on, really. Do we want to see Amir Khan against one of the young welterweights out there so he can get knocked out ice cold again? I'm done.
Yes.
Oh, come on, man.
No.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, yeah.
Most likely Kell Brook's going to knock him out too, though. So
who?
This fight don't really pique my interest.
Well, it's because there's no American Black Chibi. That's why.
I'm
kidding.
No, I like Kell Brook. I like Kell Brook. You asked a question about Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury.
Yes.
My opinion, my thoughts on that fight. Well, nobody can beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not human. He's the greatest of this era. It's no way he can beat him. It's gonna be easy work. It's gonna be easy work for Tyson Fury.
Well, before we get back to that, let me just read a super chat here from James Dixon, and he says it will happen. Talking about the Tyson Fury Whyte fight. Big fight over here in the UK. 1 million pay-per-view is a doable. Big purse, which Fury has got his own way with the split, and his promoter Frank won the bid. All right, James, thank you for your contribution, and he's doubling down and saying, yes, it will happen. All right, so thank you, James Dixon, again for your contribution, man. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. All right, let's go back to that. So Chibi is saying that Tyson Fury, he would give him the edge against anybody out there right now. What do you fellas think? Agree or disagree?
Yeah, so the one thing I got out of Tyson Fury from those 2 fights with Wilder is that his chin is for real. If Fury, I mean, if Wilder could never knock out Fury, I don't think Dillian Whyte is. So it comes down to, can Dillian Whyte outbox Fury? The answer is no. So I don't see Dillian Whyte winning, or Joshua, or the only one maybe could be Usyk, just pure outboxing. I mean, if he tries to go for a knockout, it's not gonna fucking happen, obviously.
All right, so Anybody else? I'm curious about it. Do you guys think Tyson Fury is at that point where you give him the edge over everybody else in the division?
Well, he can't be knocked out. He can be knocked down, and I believe he can be knocked out because Dillian Whyte's a puncher. He hits really hard with that left hook. It's the lead hand.
You think he hits harder than Wilder?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he hits harder than Wilder or hits slightly less harder, or he could actually hit harder with an isolated punch in a moment where he's weaker, as opposed to what Wilder hit him at the time. But he also went down 2 times or 4 times in total. So it doesn't matter if he hits as hard. He just got to catch him at the right time because he still is a puncher. So that triangle theory, does he hit harder than him? And because this guy couldn't knock him out, this guy can't knock him out? No, that doesn't work like that. That's absolutely true. It does not work like that.
This is the thing about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, is that he can come back and he can fight on the back foot, and he can also come for you if you want to. Like I said, he's the Don right now, heavyweight. I don't see nobody in heavyweight beating him at all. And we gotta take that into initiative that he can fight on the back foot and also come for you as well. So if it's a thing that he feels as though Dillian Whyte hits too hard, and on top of that, he's a little more accurate than Deontay Wilder. All he's gonna do is fight on the back foot.
But hang on. How did AJ beat White? Was it predominantly boxing? Am I right in thinking that?
No, it was a brawl.
Okay.
They fought it he actually got hurt badly with a left hook in that fight. AJ did, and he stopped him basically with an uppercut. But I think, to Gonzalez's point about the power, White is a lot heavier than Deontay Wilder, and that matters. You might have more power output in the snap, but how much weight you have behind you matters a lot in being able to concuss a man of that size.
But whether Dillian Whyte can get sort of within Fury's range and over there hits him while Fury moves, that's going to be a different story.
Oh, I think he will. I mean, Chisora could. I think he'll have moments of success. I just think that if Fury is in real shape and he's very motivated, what he's done throughout his career, even on the come up against Christian Hammer and all that, has shown to be a level that can beat someone like Dillian Whyte, in my opinion.
And when you're not outboxing somebody, okay, maybe it's hard for people to conceive how can Dillian Whyte outbox Tyson Fury. But let's say Fury gets dropped 2 or 3 times, that evens out, the scorecards when it comes down to a decision. He went down 2 times against Wilder, and he basically won all the other rounds, and the judges had it 6-6. They had it a draw.
The judges robbed him. Come on, man. You know what I mean? He only won 2 rounds out of fucking 12. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he won 2 rounds by margins of 8-10. You have it to where, let's say, Dillian Whyte wins more rounds than Wilder, but he still gets 2 knockdowns.
Yeah,
is it hard to conceive that you could get a draw?
Yeah, but the judges are not going to start favoring Whyte the way that the judges favored Wilder in America.
Saying
well,
what I'm saying.
You don't have to just favor, though.
When you get 2 knockdowns, when you get 2 knockdowns, that evens out the numbers drastically. And when you get 2 knockdowns, and let's say you win 2-3 rounds on top of that, not saying that you're gonna dominate a fight 7-6 or 8-4. You just gotta make it close to where those knockdowns make the difference.
But what's to stop Fury getting a knockdown or 2 though? Because it's not exactly Fury's got Fury is not Clarissa Shields and got pillow fist, does it?
Yeah, but
I have to bring up Clarissa Shields.
Yes.
Yeah, Gonzalo. Okay,
but
Gonzalo speaking.
You watch such a.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say, because you were saying about the knockdowns. So the only reason I didn't take too much of the knockdowns off of Fury is because every time he got up, he ended up getting back up and winning the rest of the round. And he was pressing forward, which told me he wasn't hurt. I think a lot of the reasons. See, Fury has that freaking that Yao Ming body where he's really tall, lanky. He looks all goofy, and he almost looks clumsy, So I think a lot of times he got hit and he just falls back off balance. He can't really put his, catch himself like someone that's smaller could. He always got up and won the round and pressing forward, which to me tells me he wasn't really hurt, which is why I think his chin is probably the best in the division.
Yeah, it's like
He
a
was
Juan Manuel
almost out
Marquez.
though in the fourth round.
Yeah.
He was almost out in the fourth round in the third fight. Just to kind of, so, like if you get tired enough, you can be finished by anyone. I mean, he was almost out in the fourth round. He recovered more than Wilder, but like he could have been stopped there.
I'm not a judge. I'm not an expert, but for me, I think it's hard for a judge to give a fighter like a round or make it 9-9 when you got dropped. So basically, most judges will have it 8-10 against a fighter, even though if you got off the canvas to win the round. So if you, just by getting dropped alone, even though you might be winning the round before or after you got dropped, you're still gonna lose at 8-10. In my belief, I don't know about you guys, you're gonna lose at 8-10. You get dropped 2 times, even though you have a tough chin like Juan Manuel Marquez. You get dropped 2-3 times, like Marquez or Salido. You get back up, you're still gonna lose those rounds 8-10. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, fellas, let me.
Unless you're George Kambosos.
What's Dillian Whyte's knockout percentage?
Let me check. I got it right here, I believe. No, I had it right here. Gosh darn it! It's probably above 60%. Hold on a second.
Probably about right around a 69 or 70.
He's got what the fuck? He's got a kickboxing record. What the fuck? Okay, he's
he was a kickboxer.
He's got 28 wins, 19 by knockout. So I mean,
66%.
I mean, he dropped Joseph Parker, who has a good chin. And,
yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, he
well, hang on,
brutalized.
but didn't he? Was Joseph Parker's knockdown? Was it more of a flash knockdown?
Yeah,
No,
Dillian Whyte.
it was also like I think it was pretty hard. Was in the last round or something.
I remember Dillian Whyte when he got when Parker got dropped, he got up slow, so I think he was hurt. Dillian Whyte in the last round when he got dropped, I think it was more out of exhaustion. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was hurt, he got stunned, but it wasn't like I don't remember it being that way. I could be wrong. But by the way, real quick, shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. He says Fury is ducking Ngannou and Jake Paul. Fact. All right, shout out to Chris K. Shout out to Chris K for the contribution, aka Undercover Asian. And shout out to Leighton Evelyn for his contribution with the super chat. He says, if Fury gets knocked down like he did against Wilder in Fury White 1 in the UK, the fight gets waved off. Whoa. If Fury gets knocked down, he says, like he did against Wilder, and then Fury in the UK, the fight gets waved off. I don't know about that, Leighton, but I mean, it's possible.
Well,
you guys think?
Well, BDA.
No,
But so White's got a left hook. That's a dangerous weapon because that's the hand that's closest to your opponent's face. It's not like lining up a right hand.
Right.
So I think that Chisora can land that left hook. It's one of them sneaky punches like a Ryan Garcia. Just for comparison's sake, it's right close to your opponent's face. All you got to do is swipe your hand to the left. Boom. Or Jesus, I'm left-handed. Yes, swipe your hand to the right.
Yeah, but is Dillian Whyte
somebody with the left hook? Say again.
Is Dillian Whyte a quick fighter? I mean, I personally wouldn't say he's that quick. I mean, I might be wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. The left hand, when you're sticking it out there, you just got to turn it ever so slightly, and you're right next to your opponent's cheek, right? Extend your hand out, and that's the closest hand to your opponent.
But if Fury keeps, for example, if he wanted to be like letting loose and stick his arm out the whole time, or like at least semi out to stop Whyte, because White's obviously a lot shorter than Fury, he's going to negate his power, not negate his power, but won't give you the opportunity to wind it up, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's true, but it's still the lead hand. It's not like the right hand where it comes from afar, from the back, and you gotta turn it, and your opponent sees your body turning, and it's coming from the back, and you can see it all day.
Well, let's listen. Let's say and let's agree that Whyte can hurt him. I mean, this is the heavyweight division, right?
No, that's fair enough.
Right, Tyson Fury is not Randall Tex Cobb in there. Cunningham dropped him. He got dropped earlier in his career as well. He's a very tall fighter. He's right there to be lined up for an overhand right. I'm not saying it's easy to do it, but Whyte is he's no bum in there. He can probably set up. In other words, what I'm trying to get at is Fury's going to have to go in there serious. He can't go in there overlooking Whyte and thinking, oh well, I got a Usyk or still a Joshua fight lined up. He's got to be serious, man.
Well, I hope not. Anyway.
Well, right. I mean, it's a serious fight, and Whyte is sure to like. Would you guys agree that Whyte is the guy with more to lose not necessarily more to lose in the sense of options, but that like this is probably his last shot. You guys think he's going to go in there more motivated than Fury?
He's going to come very motivated, but it don't matter how motivated you come to Tyson Fury. Like I said, he's not human. So, I think if the fight were to happen, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not because no contract's been signed, I'm watching it because I know it's going to be a good fight because I like Whyte's style. And I heard you guys talking about the left hook. I mean, like if it was impossible for freaking Deontay Wilder to catch him with a right round by round, what makes you think Dillian Whyte's gonna catch him with a left hook if he don't even fight if Tyson Fury don't really even fight that close if he don't have to?
Well, it's like Gonzalo said, and I mean, like you can force an inside fight. Like there are many fighters who make their bread and butter by getting in on the inside and catching an angle, and the left hook is a sneaky punch for that.
I think Fury's quite good in the close-up with the clinching and stuff. And he's not exactly scared of clinching. In fact, he's probably more dangerous clinching because once he puts his weight on you on the ring rope, he's gonna be sapping energy like he did against Wilder.
Yeah, but Dillian Whyte is like 40 pounds heavier. But yeah, like I mean, that's a good point.
That
he
don't
can catch him
mean
with that too. It means a lot, actually. Like having a 70-pound weight difference between two guys is or 60-pound or whatever. Is massive.
But that's what Deontay Wilder came in there heavier than ever. And
he came at 230 though.
Tired. He still got
he's
tired.
Not 250.
He was 230. He was right there. He was like 238, 239. Like he was up there. Like that's not.
Yeah, but that's not his. Like he's not used to that weight. Like that's weight you're putting on, even if it's muscle. Like that weight's gonna weigh you down in the course of the fight. That's why you can't just lift weights to go up a weight class. That doesn't work in a striking sport.
Let's just say that okay, they're fighting, and if Dillian Whyte was to hit him hard as hell, he would use that tactic. He would use his weight on him. He'll come in there as like 275, 280 pounds, and just drop that weight on him by round 7, 8. The guy's too tired, then he'll just beat the shit out of him.
He was 290, I think, in the last fight.
Hey, by the way, real quick, shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "How about Fury versus Dana White? Bust that bold tomato." Yeah, I mean, Dana White is fucking annoying. Although I gotta admit, outside the UFC and all that, I agree with a lot of what he's standing up for. So shout out to Chris K for his contribution. Real appreciate it. Hey, I want to ask Leighton. Leighton, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for dropping by and thank you for your contribution. You're the one that contributed, right? In the super chat?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask you, what did you mean by that? That you think Dillian Whyte is gonna be giving preference by the officials if the fight happens?
No, what I'm saying is like where in Fury Deontay Wilder won, when Fury got knocked down, he was knocked out in my eyes. He was knocked out, and if that happens in the UK, they will waive it off. It won't be give you a count. They won't give you a count in the UK. And I'm saying if White knocks down Fury and knocks him down like that, it'll be waved off.
Well, what do you think too about Tyson Fury? The fact that he doesn't lie down for the media, he's actually quite politically incorrect. Do you guys think that could play a factor too in maybe the UK board? First of all, can he fight in the UK? I thought he was barred from.
Yeah, no, it's a misconception. In the UK, it's different. Like anywhere, if I fought in Nevada, if I fought in California, I applied for my boxing license 2 weeks before I applied for it. Then I get my boxing license. New York, Nevada, whatever. Same as the UK. You can apply for it 2 weeks before you'll get it. He's not banned. He can fight here. Simple as whenever he wants to. But the thing is, over here, it's like, I don't know if you know a thing about it, is why he left here to go over to the US. He said some comments. He came out with comments saying all women should be stuck in the kitchen and all gays are going to hell. And for that, he was a commercial nightmare. He was a commercial nightmare. No one wanted to touch him. So he went over to America, reinvented himself, and like he's made himself successful over America, and he's coming back here. But the thing I don't think he'll fill out a stadium. I don't think he will. Because in America, you all think any Brit can go in a stadium and fill it out. You can't. Because you've got to look at Joshua. With Joshua, you've got your grandmothers, your grandma, your grandies, your nans, your grandchildren. They all love Joshua. Fury, he don't attract that crowd. He attracts the gypsies and a certain type of men and young men. That's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not as famous. Well, he's not as popular as, let's say, Ricky Hatton. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Ricky, that's what I say. Ricky had the same thing as Joshua. your nans will love him, your aunties will love him, your wives will love him, your kids will love him. No, with Fury, they don't. There's a certain demographic over here that do like Fury, and it's usually young males.
He unfortunately he sort of behaves a bit too much like Billy Joe Saunders to a degree.
It's a gypsy mentality, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not as bad as Billy Joe Saunders. I mean,
No.
Billy Joe Saunders fucking pretending to be a police officer and then forcing people to strip. I mean, that's about as low as you can get.
That was hilarious.
But Fury was bad until he went over to America and he realised, hang on, I got a bit of fame here, I got a bit of thing. And Fury went PC, went bit politically correct when he went over to America. Since he's come back, he's behaved. He's like the king of the gypsies because he don't act like a gypsy anymore.
But I still believe people. I personally think Fury's probably more. If Fury and AJ had a fight here, I think more people would be behind Fury now.
No. I can see what you're saying with the consensus of right now, because right now Joshua's not exactly popular. But if Joshua beats Usyk, then I think it's a completely different story.
Hey, by the way, I like how you called him the king of the gypsies. Like, I can just imagine him holding court. His throne is made of Guinness bottles, the boxes from Guinness bottles, and he's sitting there holding court. People get in trouble. They go to him to delegate. I mean, you got to give it up to Tyson Fury. He really made something out of himself but at the same time, let's talk about something that's been overlooked. Dillian Whyte's resume isn't that far off from Fury. I mean, what's Fury's best wins? Klitschko, which was about 7 years ago now, and Wilder two times.
It was a prime Klitschko who stopped him in his fight streak, and he's the one that destroyed Wilder when Wilder's knocking everybody out like 40 fights, 40 wins, 40 knockouts.
Yeah, but did you say
we gotta give him respect on the fight he had with Steve Cunningham. That's when I knew that he was a different kind of villain. Because Steve Cunningham was winning that fight, and next thing you know, he pulled that dirty shit, and I couldn't do nothing but respect it. I was like, wow. So I'll give him that too. That was a real good fight that he performed. Like I said, I just don't see after the whole Wilder situation, because I was saying that to myself. I said the only person that could beat this guy is Wilder, because I didn't see Anthony Joshua beating him. I didn't see Dillian Whyte beating him. Not even Jared Anderson. I don't even think he's ready.
Brother, can I say something to you there? Because like what you're seeing with Wilder, he's an outside fighter. And if you have a look at Fury, right, the only way to fight Fury is like, listen, I'm a small man. You're going to fight the big man. You've got to fight him on the chest. You've got to get on the guy's chest and fight him. And if anyone gets to Fury on his chest, you'll beat him. You will beat him. Look what Otto Wallin did. And Otto Wallin's not even a good fighter. You've got to get to Fury's chest. And if you get to Fury's chest, you will beat him.
But it seems as though that Fury had ever since Fury fought Klitschko. It's like Fury had, because at first Fury seemed like he was kind of bummy. You know what I'm saying? But after he fought Klitschko, it's like he had a big upgrade. Like he learned after beating him, he also learned a lot from that fight.
Well, after he beat him, he failed a cocaine test. So I don't know what you're on about, bro.
Cocaine don't enhance your performance, does it?
Yeah, I give cocaine a pass.
Cocaine don't put your performance up. Is that what you're saying, mate?
It is a performance. Like, if you've ever fucked on cocaine, you know it's a performance enhancer.
That's what I'm saying, BD8. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I know obviously that you, to a degree, the pain threshold, it will numb you down, but it doesn't make you faster or, not rational.
No, that's literally actually what it does. It's like a...
I've seen plenty of people out here in the streets get knocked the hell out on cocaine. Cocaine, I would give them a pass on cocaine.
It's because they're pussies. First
what you're saying, it'll make you muscle guys. If you put in two muscle guys, same weight, same thing. One's coked up. He's got more chance because he'll go longer. He will. It's a fact.
No, if you ever did cocaine, you would know for a fact if you're going 12 rounds on fucking cocaine, your heart would explode. You can't do that shit.
Well, that's what the Indians used to do back in the day. They used to chew the leaves, or they would basically throw cocaine in their mouth as they were going up the mountains to get more stamina. Cocaine increases your stamina.
It's a stimulant.
Cocoa leaves have a different enzyme
it makes the fire. It makes the circuit. It makes the receptors in your brain fire faster. So you think faster.
Yeah, that's true. But the cocoa leaves take longer to metabolize. So cocaine does have a shorter half-life when it's in the pure crystallized form.
Well,
because you have to have a certain enzyme inhibitor for the cocoa leaf to affect you the same way as the powder.
We got Walter White over here. Listen, let's get away from the cocaine thing for a minute. Although it's very interesting, I must say.
If you're BDA, so Fury's holding court and he's got a disc. He's got a disc of whatever you said, the Guinness cases. then he's got Deontay Wilder's breastplate in the glass cabinet.
Oh, yeah, he's got his.
But guys. Yo,
the laser eyes and the King of the Gypsies that's actually.
No, but let me say something. Let me check this out there. Whether I'm wrong or I'm way off, I don't know. Let me just ask you all. Say Wilder's not as good as everyone thinks he is. Is Fury as good as everyone thinks he is, then?
I don't think so, man. But let's rewind, man, about the Klitschko thing. First of all, he wasn't a prime Klitschko. He was, 39, 40? And that performance, even Fury says it was a bad performance. I mean, they were landing punches in the single digits every round. Look, don't get me wrong. He threw
Klitschko off, though, isn't it?
I give him a lot of credit for that. Yes, I do give him a lot of credit for that. But in terms of actually putting... Now, listen, I do agree that he has improved ever since he got together with the Kronk people. He punches better now. His punches are a little straighter, whereas if you watch the Klitschko fight, he was sort of fumbling wide shots in there. But I still... I think he's good, and when people like Chibi say that he's invincible right now, it's only because the heavyweight division isn't all that good right now.
I would agree with that. Because, and then the only reason why I agree with that because, what Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua did, they basically beat everybody. It wasn't really nobody else to really fight. But then we had the lineal champion, Tyson Fury, which I don't think that when it comes, and I know you said not to bring this back up, I think that was more of a thing when he was doing that. I don't think he was doing it for the fight. I think he was Tyson Fury, because he's known to be a party animal, was doing drugs just for fun. I just don't see him really doing that just for a fight. And if Tyson Fury came in that fight, with Dillian Whyte right now, Anthony Joshua already beat him up. And let's be honest, if Anthony Joshua were to fight Tyson Fury, do y'all really see Anthony Joshua beating Tyson Fury?
I do. Styles make fights. I do.
That was also 7 years ago.
Yeah, that was when Dillian Whyte...
British Championship, I was. British Championship. That's not fair, mate.
Dillian Whyte's got a lot better, too. I mean, he did get surprised to knock down...
Well, let me.
I was going to say, especially because he's a recent entry into the sport, and he improves fast.
I don't think y'all put in perspective his whole...
Real quick. Shout out to that guy for his contribution with the super chat. He says Fury will fill the stadium versus White in the UK 100%. All right, shout out to that guy. He seems to.
He can't give 100% on that. He can't. There's no way he can give 100%.
Well, he's giving his 100%. You can't take away his 100%. It's his 100%. If he wants to give his 100%, guess what? It's Friday. He can give his 100%. All right, let's go to Recognize the Matrix. Shout out to Recognize, who says Tyson Fury will never be loved by the MSM by the mainstream media like AJ. In a way, it's his fault and not. Salute BDA family. All right, shout out to Recognize. Really appreciate your contribution, man. As always. Hopefully you jump by today. All right, but go ahead, Leighton. You went? Who wanted to go? Sorry, I'm losing track.
I'll go. Because basically what I hear is his fight's going to be before April the 29th. It's got to be called before then.
Yeah.
And in Britain, I don't know if you lot know, it's known as April showers in Britain. So it's going to be raining. It's raining. It's known as April showers. So if we have it over here in April, there's only one place they can have that, and that's my hometown, Cardiff. They can only have it in Cardiff, where I'm from. And they get in that stadium. It's an 80,000 capacity stadium, and I'm telling you, they will not fill it. They will not fill it.
Huh?
Wait, so it rains as opposed to just snowing? Doesn't it just rain year round?
Yeah, no, it rains most of the time, especially in Wales, where I'm from. It rains all the time, but Britain's known. It's like our month. It's just coming up before spring, and it's known as, it's called April showers. That's what it's known, April showers. It rains all around Britain on April. So if you're gonna have a stadium fight, you can't have an outdoor stadium. It's just going to be raining, isn't it? The only indoor stadium that can hold it is Cardiff. We got a roof on it, so we can put a roof on it. So that's where that fight will be. And if it's there, I'm telling you, he won't fill it.
You know what, man? I love rain. Most people don't. That's why I would, like to live in the UK. Except that now it's turning to the Epcot Center, so forget about that. But listen, I wanted to also bring up something here because we're talking about Tyson Fury versus White and all that. Whether the fight could, first of all, do you guys think it's going to be entertaining?
Yeah,
Oh,
BDA,
yeah.
and I want to
Oh,
mention
yeah.
something in regards to the fighting on the inside. Somebody said that White can also be a problem because he's heavier than Wilder. Yeah, of course. But on the clinches, since he's good with that lead left hook, on the clinches you have to wrestle a guy that's 270. It's not the same as wrestling a guy on the inside as lighter like Deontay Wilder. But if he frees up the left hook on the inside, even though if they're taps, he can maybe produce a cut. He could bother it up because he's got enough power with that hand to trouble. On the inside, yeah.
And you know White done MMA. White's a kickboxer. He was a kickboxer before a boxer, and he's done MMA. He's had MMA fights. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grab. This is what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting if White gets up close.
And you know what I appreciate about Dylan?
Yeah, it's a very good point, Gonzalo, because the left hand was the hand that the hand that Paulie used to cut Fury.
Yeah, because it's the lead, like you said, it's the front hand, and it's easier to get hit with the front hand as opposed to the trail hand. So yeah, that's the hand that cut Fury. But Dillian Whyte is far more powerful, and he's going to be a hard guy to wrestle in the inside. If you freeze up that hand, he's going to go to town and start wailing on Tyson Fury.
That's an interesting
And another
point.
thing we're not putting into perspective too with Tyson Fury, he brings 80% of just straight mind games. Y'all don't think that Tyson Fury can get into Dillian Whyte's head?
Well, you know what? It's an interesting. Can I just say real quick, man? Dillian Whyte's a guy that he had his first kid at 14, I think, when he was 14. That means he takes chances, man. He doesn't care. He goes in there. He's an astronaut.
That's what I was going to say, exactly.
Let me say something about Dillian Whyte. You all don't know this, right? Back in London, that's where Dillian Whyte worked. He used to work on a door, and he's got a reputation, right, from back in the day, 30 years. One hard mother, do you know what I mean? He is really hard. Dillian can fight you on the floor, fight you whatever. He's been shot at, he's been stabbed. Dillian can fight, mate. That's one thing. He may not be a better boxer than Fury. He's not a better boxer than Fury, I'm not going to lie. But he can fight. That's one thing Dillian can do.
So do you think Dillian Whyte would have? You think Dillian Whyte would have beaten Deontay Wilder?
It's whoever landed first. I would have gone with whoever landed first.
By the way,
can you hear me, bro? Can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you now, man. Yeah, go ahead, Stu. Go ahead.
I'm not used to this new setup with all this chat. It's a different setup, isn't it?
I'm a fan of you, bro. I'm a proper fan of you.
Thank you, my friend. Nice to meet you. You Leighton from Cardiff. I recognise that Welsh accent. Anyway, it's definitely a Welsh accent.
That's me, brother. That's me.
Thank you, bro. So my problem with Dillian Whyte is this is not a street fight. This is a professional boxing match. And he makes far too many schoolboy errors to beat Tyson Fury. He's gonna walk onto shots. He's gonna look sloppy at times. I think Tyson Fury from range is going to pick him off. He has to get inside, like I said. He has to get inside Fury, rough him up, and hope that left hook lands. That's his only chance. Fury's a smart guy. He's hard to hit. All right, Wilder caught him clean, but he walked onto that shot square on. He got too confident. And the thing is, Wilder has. I know Dillian Whyte hits hard with that left hook, but he's not got Wilder power. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't see too many schoolboy errors. Like I said, his footwork, his balance. He falls short. He throws shots at the wrong time. I don't know, man. I just technically nowhere near good enough to beat Tyson Fury, and that's where I'm at.
You know Dillian's footwork's terrible because he got shot in the leg. So he is a bit clumpy leg. He is because he got shot in the leg. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'll get that, but that's not going to help him, is it? You know, that's not, you know.
No, I agree. I agree, Stu. I agree.
You know, the thing is, I think with Tyson Fury, because he's so awkward, you know, and like I said, all the feints. Dillian Whyte's going to react to them feints, and once he reacts, he's going to leave himself in vulnerable positions. And
I said from the beginning, if he stays on the outside of Tyson Fury, he's going to get picked off and stopped in the later rounds. But he's got to get close, like what you said. But getting in there is a different story. But he's got to get in there. If he don't get in there, it's going to be a different fight. Like I see, and you got to ask, is Dillian Whyte's gas tank is suspect, isn't it? And you know one thing with Fury, he got stamina to go forever. That's what that's where the fight will be won and lost, I reckon.
Yeah, he's going to have to get inside, and he's going to have to throw punches and bunches.
So basically, you're saying that the only way how Dillian Whyte can win this fight is if he make it a dog fight.
And wins quite early on.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do when you're outskilled by somebody, technically and talent wise. You have to do what you do best. It's like I said, I'll keep saying about Froch because Froch technically was terrible, but he's 2-time world champion and beat some good guys. Tremendous resume because he took it to the trenches and he snatched souls, and that's what you got to do. If you can't sit there and try and outbox a world class boxer. I mean, Joshua tried to do it to Usyk and he got fucking pieced up for fucking 12 rounds. I mean, you just don't do that. What you do what Madonna did to Floyd. You maul him, you elbow him, you fucking rough him up in the inside. You don't let him breathe. That's how you take the tools away from these technically sound fighters.
But see, this is the thing, though. Like you're talking about, and everything you sounds pretty legit. But we're talking about he's fighting the Gypsy King, and that's the dirtiest fighter I ever seen. In heavyweight, like how he's fighting, like he's over here, I just don't know. Because if he makes it a dog fight, I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury will come right back at him, even with his long ass reach and everything. But
long ass reach is no good when he's in close. Those big long reaches are no good in close. There's no power. If Dillian Whyte gets close, it takes away his reach.
And that's the only way he's gonna land that left hook. Because let's be real, Tyson Fury's not gonna fly in fucking head first like Chisora did and people like and Povetkin and people. He's gonna be smart. He's gonna be feinting. He's gonna be awkward. So and from range, he's just gonna get picked apart. I mean, Dillian Whyte's nowhere near good enough to beat Tyson Fury at range, but in the pocket, mid range, he has a chance because he's got to land that left hook to win for me. He's not going to win on points. He's got to knock Tyson Fury out, and his only way of doing it is landing that left hook. Simple as
100%, especially on a Queensberry show. He's going to have to knock him out because you're going to get points. You're going to have to knock him out, and I can't. The only way I can see is, like I'm saying, Stu, is if he gets close up. Otherwise, he's going to get picked off, stop later rounds.
I want to ask Gonzalo something, man. Gonzalo, do you think, because they call Dillian Whyte the body snatcher, and he does have good body shots, do body shots work against a guy as big as Fury? Do you think that would work? Do you think that would serve him well, Gonzalo, or?
Depends where it hits, I would have thought.
I think it would. Because when Deontay Wilder was hitting him with body shots for a second, he was looking a little tired, but then, Deontay Wilder just, did Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, he was just 1-2, 1-2. He didn't have any hooks to go along with that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Tyson Fury versus Whyte it's a big fight. It's one that should have happened perhaps a couple of years ago. We'll see what happens with that one. I think it's going to be on BT Sports, right? I think they said. So probably
Yep.
Pay-per-view. All right, that's good. That's good.
I mean, you know the pre-fight talk is going to be definitely worth watching.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Dillian Whyte and Fury.
Oh my God, yeah.
I wanted to ask Stu. Stu, I wanted to ask you.
Because go on.
Yeah, Stu, I wanted to ask you, man. With regards to, because we're talking about Joshua, he has that mom and pop type, like you can bring him to the family type attitude. Like everyone loves him. Why is that? Do you think? What is it that makes AJ so affable, and what is it that makes Fury a little bit? Is it because he looks like a troll a little bit, or what's going on?
What does it make Fury what?
Why doesn't Fury have that appeal over there in England as much as Joshua does?
Because Fury's not a cornball like Joshua. Joshua's a fucking cornball, man.
Yeah, he's a freaking do-boy bitch.
Let me tell you something now. He's a media's dream. Joshua's a media's dream. A fucking big, strong black man staying in line and doing as he's told. That's what they like, being a good boy. Yeah,
it's true. It's so true.
That's what you got to do. Any black man that shows a bit of fucking charisma, he's never going to be the same star, as Joshua. and the newspapers and the media all on his back. Everywhere I go, I turn my TV on. Joshua's got his fucking six-pack out trying to sell me headphones. I fucking put the radio on. Joshua's on there. Then I go newspaper. There's Joshua with a fucking trying to sell you a car. He's everywhere. I'll tell you something. That's because he's a little yes boy that does as he's told and stays in line. And
this is why I love my
man. And
he tells it how it is, even if you don't like it. And it's not right, but he tells it how it is. This is truth, bro. My man tells the truth.
And I like Tyson Fury way more than I like I forgot his name. Like I'm trying to tell you, like you feel me, like because he's out here calling people sausages. He's a villain. He's a whole villain out here, man. Like. Yo, well, you gotta love him.
Look at that man. Look at the riots. One sec. Look when the riots were happening. For fuck's sake. Look when the riots were happening.
Joshua,
in London, Joshua did his deed. What the media wanted to stand up there and do a speech about fucking black culture, black this, just being a yes boy, and that's what Joshua's become. He's such a cornball. He's that guy that tells you what you want to hear. He's that guy that does what you want him to do. He's just like a puppet, and the media love people like that. And Tyson Fury, that's why they didn't take to him, because he says how it is. Do you know what I mean? He does what he wants and says how it is, and that's not sort of people the media like these days. So,
well, can I say something about? Can I please add something to what Stu just said? Because I'm reading Sugar Ray Leonard's autobiography, and he talks about how when he was on the come up in the amateurs, one of his coaches, one of the people at his gym, he's the one that taught him how to talk and when not to talk, because that's just as important, if not more. And it's the same thing with Joshua. He was just like Sugar Ray Leonard. He was groomed to be this Olympic star. They didn't quite know yet if he was going to be a good pro or not, but in terms of they want another Amir Khan essentially. Because remember when Amir Khan won the silver, how they used to talk about how he's bridging the gap between the whites and the immigrants and blah blah blah. So I think there's a bit of mainstream media globalist propaganda going on.
It is mainstream, because when we had the Olympics over in 2012, and we didn't know we were going to be successful. With Britain Dish didn't know how successful. It's the most successful Olympics we ever had, and it was huge. I mean, huge. And Josh was the forefront for it when they used him, and that's why he had that spin to go off. That's why the whole country knew Joshua before he had his first professional fight, mate.
Well, that's it. I mean, look, and they did it with Amir Khan as well. Let's be real. Amir Khan won a silver medal. In the world I live, that's not winning. And why are you giving this fucking guy parade, putting him on newspapers, giving him all these sponsorship deals? He didn't win.
Second place still is second place, silver. It's not first.
Yeah, exactly. It's not winning to me. Hey, mate, you might as well be silver. You might as well be 50th to me. If you're not winning, you're not a winner. It's just simple as that. You're not winning.
So curious
you're
question.
Not winning by having a silver medal around your neck. It means some fuckers beat you. So all right, I understand why they. He was a young lad. He did well. I'm not saying that's a bad achievement, but all the sponsorship deals he's got, all this coverage he was getting. Yeah, you got people like winning golds. James DeGale got a gold medal, never got any media coverage. You got fucking Luke Campbell who won a gold. The same Olympic Games as Joshua did. I don't see anyone talking about Luke Campbell, do you? It was all about Joshua, all about.
But still,
come on, you know where we're going.
So curious question.
They were right though, right? Like they obviously had a good plan there, and they got a good return on their investment. That's really all that matters to a sponsor. But I just wanted to say real quick, it's kind of funny to consider that Fury is kind of like the minority in this, in both, like I guess, the White and the Joshua situation.
And I'm a little curious. So, let's just, we're going to talk about a fantasy fight. So, if this fight were to happen in the UK, of how you guys are talking about this, let's say if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury was the fight, well, people basically going to be praising Anthony Joshua and then booing Tyson Fury.
No.
It's still no. Listen, let me say, if Joshua can get through Usyk, then Joshua will get the British public back on his side. If Joshua don't get through Usyk, he's a loser. He's no good. That's why
the thing is, what you say about Joshua, he's achieved great things. And I mean, he was a good champion. I think he's willing to take on all comers. He brought a bit of life. He brought life back to British boxing because Tyson Fury weren't doing it. He was fucking getting coked up and fucking driving Ferraris while Josh was winning fights. So you've got to give. I just want to respond to Baboon in the chat, saying I'm pure logic about Amir Khan. I'll tell you what pure logic is. Guy gets in there with fucking Bradus Prescott, gets sparked out in a cold in a fucking round. The next fight Prescott fights, he fights Kevin Mitchell, who's a cokehead and an alcoholic, and gets schooled for 12 rounds. That's pure logic, bro. Fuck out of here.
Oh yeah. That the American. I mean, it's interesting. Like we were talking about before, he was already 35. He's 35 now. So I mean, it's almost over. But
yes, that's what I mean. They were talking about like this great up and coming fighter, yeah, who's gonna conquer the world. The guy got knocked out in a round by Bradus Prescott, for fuck's sake. I mean, Kevin Mitchell, the next fight when he schooled Prescott, Kevin Mitchell.
He was all
the reason we can is like I know it's horrible to say. The reason Khan was pushed over because he was Asian. I know he was Asian British, but he was Asian and he was like the new messiah for all the Asians in Britain, and that's why they pushed him forward.
Yeah, a Marxist dream, innit? A Marxist dream. That's what he was. And look, that's basically what I was saying without saying it. You basically said it for me. But that's the only reason why the media machine got behind him like they did, because there's plenty of British fighters that have done better than him, got gold medals, and I barely see him. Where are they?
That's a good
point. He won a gold. Not heard from him since this is the first time I've heard from him since the fucking Olympics. So come on, mum.
Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Everyone's talking about the time. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead. We just got Jimmy and Bucho dropping, but Jimmy, go ahead, man.
What's up, brothers? No, I was just going to say, well, that's England, isn't it? Diversity is our greatest strength. That's been one of their slogans. So, of course, no, that's absolutely they pushed him on Amir Khan for those reasons. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And to be fair, it wasn't even the Asian thing. It was more of a Pakistani Islamic thing that they tried to push it more forward. That's what he was fighting.
I was just about to say this. It's only a matter of time in the statistics that they count like Pakistanis as Caucasians in their crime reports, you know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So when they go around grooming girls in the neighborhoods, it's a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
Now listen.
And young boys too in Rotherham. It was tens of thousands, or it's thousands.
All right. Hey, listen. I want to.
Let's get back to the boxing.
Yeah. Before we go back on this thing, I got a quick question. I'm pretty sure you're hearing this, LT, right now. But I just wanted to, and this is off the record. I want to know why. I just found out that Shakur Stevenson just came out and said that Oscar Valdez don't want to sign that contract. If you're listening to me, I really would like an answer to that, LT. All right, go ahead. We go back to it.
If he drops by, we'll certainly get a one-on-one between you two guys. But for the moment, let's stick to the heavyweights for the moment. Somebody was going to say something.
I just want to say one thing. In terms of the media, I think the media like AJ, the way I would compare AJ and Fury is like AJ's like Captain America. The media like him. Fury comes across more like the Punisher. He's the anti-hero. The media don't really like him. The people like him, but the media fucking hate him.
Mm-hmm. That's
100%.
Well, I mean, it's that we're in precarious times now with the mainstream media. They want to push a guy that toes the party line. I also wanted to say something about Joshua. First of all, somebody posted, I can't find it. Nobody has it, apparently. If somebody has it, please post it on the Discord. It's a video of Joshua emerging from what appears to be some sort of mud bath, but the water looks like, I don't want to be crude, but it looks like diarrhea. And he just emerges from it, and he's staring straight at the camera. It's bizarre. Then somebody else put a video, I think it's a commercial or something, and he's in the shower, and he's soaping himself up. It was kind of, again, bizarre. So is there anybody more cringy with his Instagram videos than Anthony Joshua? Because it just seems like he loves the social media and the attention that he gets from it.
BDA, what I was going to say. So with the whole media thing, it's all about the social fucking fad. So like Joshua, you got the whole, diversity thing. Fury, you got the whole mental health thing. It's horses for courses. I mean, when it comes to media, when they had the
I remember when Philip Schofield, this presenter, came out. He came out, right? He came out. He's basically a batty man, right? He came out. He's been banging this young lad behind his wife's back, right? And he's come out and apologising. And they're saying he's a hero. He's not a hero. How's he a hero? Why are you a hero? Listen, they built him to be a hero. My idea of a hero is going to fucking battle knowing you're not coming home, not admitting you're taking on the fucking batty. So get out of here, man. That's what I mean about the media. It's just cringe, and Anthony Joshua plays to their tune perfectly.
They promote.
I've been to three Anthony Joshua Stadium fights, right? I've been to three of them. I don't know why you say I'm a fan. But when he done an interview with IFL, I'm scratching my head. I don't know what to take from him. What are you telling the truth? What the hell are you on about? Do you know what I mean? He won't say nothing direct. He will say something. You've got to please the thousands rather than just tell the truth. And I am, man. Like, he's losing me. He's losing me, bro. And that's the truth.
Let me tell you how bad the Joshua casuals are. So I went to the Usyk fight, and when Usyk won, I started clapping because it was an amazing performance. These Joshua fanboys started fucking booing me and stuff, saying, "Why are you clapping?" And I was like, "I came here for watch the boxing, not to watch fucking Joshua. The fuck's wrong with you guys?" There's all these like weird, like homosexual kind of, I don't know, weird kind of like AJ weirdo fans are insane at times. I don't get it.
But maybe PSK.
I was there at Tottenham, and I was arguing with we had wicked banter with Ukrainians, wicked banter. They was like,
it was really fun,
and I was calling her. And at the end of the match, I went up to them and I said, "Fair play, your boy fucking battered him. Simple as." And I mean, none of that.
Well, it's because you guys are boxing fans. You're not nationalistic, you're not obsessed with nationalism or race. Now, I want to give a shout out to WMMA Scene Now, who says the U.S. media loves Fury and dismisses AJ. Well, shout out to WMMA Scene Now for his or her contribution. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but they certainly do seem to treat Fury a little better here here in North America. And do you guys think that's cultural? Because I mean, as far as the North America and the UK are concerned, they're following the same globalist agenda type thing. So what is it about?
What it is Anthony Joshua is a bitch boy. Nobody cares about him. Like, honestly, that's just my personal opinion. I don't like, because even when he lost the fight against Andy Woods and came back, I respected that because I like comebacks. But like I said, mentally he's a bitch boy. He's not a villain, and America like bad boys. So no,
Can I ask something? How is Tyson Fury a villain?
Bro, he's just a villain, man. He just he's
white in America. He's white. That's all you got to be in America to be a villain, isn't it?
Seriously, man, I don't get this shit, man. Yo, Mike Chew, I don't get how he's the villain. So you're telling me Wilder was the good guy?
No, I'm not saying that Wilder. Listen, I'm not saying that Wilder was the good guy or a bad guy. It's just like more of a thing. Okay. For instance, when Muhammad Ali jumped off, he had just talked so much shit that everybody usually go to see him to get knocked out, and it was just like a Mayweather thing. They want to see him get knocked out. He played the bad guy role,
Why he's a villain? Why he's a villain is what he said from back before he made it. He said all women should be in the kitchen, and he said all women should be in the kitchen, all gays should go to hell. And whatever you think, you can't say that in public, can you? As a public figure, you can't say stuff like that. And he was a commercial nightmare.
And he made anti-homophobic slurs too, and he said stuff about Jews. But listen, going back to Muhammad Ali, white America was 100% behind him. It wasn't until he didn't go to Vietnam, and he said, "I'm not going to Vietnam." That's when white America turned on him because. I mean, contrary to what the fucking left says, 73% of KIAs killed in action were white in Vietnam. 80% in Iraq. I know everybody's like to say, everybody has the minorities to the fight. And that's not the truth. But white America was behind him until he pulled that shit, until he became a Dodge. Then he was no different than a dirty hippie. So that's completely different than with Floyd.
Well, I always assume that a lot of people
documents,
but I always heard that the reason why
of drafting people from
one at a time, fellas. One at a time.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, even the UK at the time, I think they backed Ali with that because I think they didn't recognise Fraser the champion. The British Boxing Board of Control that still had Ali as the champion until he lost the fight. Even after that whole hiatus, so
BDA,
I don't think it was.
Video, man.
So sorry, what?
Can you stop showing this video, man? That he's showing.
All right, sorry, but who was talking?
I'll put it like this: compared to Anthony Joshua.
Hold on. Somebody was talking. They got interrupted. Sorry, but who was it? Who was talking?
Yeah, it's PSK.
Go ahead, PSK. PSK. Go ahead, man. You were finish your thoughts, please.
No, I was saying that the whole Fury thing it's different to Ali because it's different times. B, the world's different, and C, we live in a narrative era. It's all about narratives, all about social. What's the latest trend? Fury became popular in the UK because he brought mental health into the forefront, and that was popular. That was what people are posting on social media, all this like mental health awareness. Nothing wrong with that, but it is what it is. When he doesn't say something fashionable, he's the enemy of the world, and that's all it is when it comes to like popularity. Especially, well, I can't really speak about America specifically as to why Fury is popular there, but the UK.
But compared to all the other heavyweights, if we were to see the poster of Tyson Fury versus anybody, like look at him, he plays his role fantastically. Like he'll sit there talk shit all day and this and that.
So
Not really.
I don't care what the mainstream media says.
He hasn't fought in years, though. He hasn't fought in years. He fought Deontay Wilder. That's it.
The guy's full of shit. Like he said, he's going to donate all his purse to charity. I didn't see him do that. Did anyone see that?
Well, what I don't like about Fury is he's been the unified heavyweight champion twice for a combined total of 16 months, and he's never had a title defense.
How's he been unified champion twice?
Once when he beat Klitschko.
When you win more than one belt, it's unified. It's not undisputed unified.
Come on, bro.
But he beat Klitschko. And he
was unified. Yeah. I just said
he had all the belts.
Doesn't he have? Oh, he only has one belt now. Okay, all right. So he has two. Yeah. All right. So okay. So I thought he had more than one belt.
Yeah,
okay,
he's got Ring Magazine.
Oh, that's right. Because they said Ring Magazine. They said WBC. So for that reason, I count him as unified because I count So maybe not statistically, but I thought I read somewhere they wrote it out like that. Maybe they counted Ring too, but
ESPN probably did.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So for 16 months total combined, 2 times he's never had a fucking defense of his title.
It's a joke.
And that's shocking. That's shocking. That is shocking, bro. As good as he is, it's shocking. It's shocking, and he is good. He is good. We can't deny nothing. No. He is good, and he should have more than what he's got.
I've never seen a man that size box like he does. To me, it's like I've been around this game for fucking 40-some years. I've never seen someone 6'9" move like that. It is pretty impressive.
Okay, Jimmy, when was the last time you saw him move like that?
No, but you know what I mean? Because I've seen big guys try to box. They're never light like that. You know what I mean? They usually
Jimmy, my point is,
all over the place.
Yes, my point is, we're still talking about that Tyson Fury that fought Wilder the first time, and he was moving and everything. Lately, what I've seen from Fury is this big ass, fat ass, 280-pound fucking boxer, man. No, seriously, I'm actually concerned. Like, is he gonna drop in weight at some point, or is he gonna keep that weight? I mean, I can understand why he did that against Wilder because he's like, well, I'll just use my weight and knock him the fuck out. But against Dillian Whyte and these other boxers, I think it's time for him to start losing weight again.
Oh, if he against Usyk, he'd be in a lot of trouble if he came into Usyk like that. Usyk would just make a miss for fucking 6 rounds. Because remember, at the end of this last trilogy, he was guppying. He was sucking wind himself. You know what I mean? He could barely pull his fucking shorts up at the end of the fight. So yeah, if he comes in like that kind of weight and that kind of conditioning, he'd be.
Yeah. But
I would think 260. I would think 260 would be a good ideal weight.
One thing, guys. One thing. Let me tell you one thing. Fury's past his best. People don't realize that he's past his best.
Huh?
And you all see as the next 2 or 3 fights happen. His best was when he did fight Vladimir Klitschko in reality. And he'll never be that fighter again.
He still might be past his best, but I still think he's good enough to deal with the people now.
Nobody can party like that. Nobody can party like that and survive that. That's going to take a toll on anybody.
You can't lose Trent Stone and still be the same man.
He was pretty good in the second Wilder fight, though.
He looked pretty good with Sugar Hill. I have to say that's the best I've seen him.
That's what I was trying to say this whole time, the Sugar Hill thing. Since he got with Sugar Hill, he changed his whole style.
Fellas. Let Gonzalo finish. Let Gonzalo finish. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, he looked pretty good against Sugar Hill when he combined the 2 styles, the boxing and the becoming of a puncher, like more aggressive. Okay, how much weight is he supposed to lose? Because he's not exactly Andy Reid sitting at 5'12", He's 6'9".
But Gonzalo, one thing I would say is that was good against one fighter. He's only fought one fighter with Sugar Hill.
But yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me just reply to that. That's good against one fighter, but kind of like to what Jimmy said, that's like an unknown. We don't know if it's going to work. It probably will. Let's say it might not, but until he fights somebody else, we will know. So we can't actually discount that and assume that it's not going to work.
No, but for a boxer, being fat is usually not a good idea. It's not a good thing.
But that's why. That's the same question. He's not necessarily like Andy Ruiz, who's 5'12", you know, basically 6 feet. He's not.
Yeah, he's much taller. I understand, but don't you like? Have you noticed that he looks like flabby, like more than before? He's To me, he doesn't really look like he's in shape. And it worked against Wilder, and like you said, we don't know if it's gonna work against somebody else. But I don't know. I have my doubts, man.
Yeah, so we got to see. He doesn't have the repertoire. No, but he's not had the repertoire with Sugar Hill to know that he's been going to be a good coach from longer term. When he has 4 fights against 4 different opponents, then we have a body of work to really be able to answer that question. So that's my kind of point. We don't know how good he's really going to be.
What I'll say is with Fury back in the day, he was all footwork. He was all dancing before. Like Fury Wilder won, he was dancing on a back foot and he could move and move. I think his legs have gone. I think his legs have slowed down. Whether it's the Kronk style where you got to go forward and go for it, but he's got to go back to that Fury back on his legs again. I don't know whether he can do that again. I don't know if he can, but if he can, he's the best in the world.
Or he has to do a little mix and match, like a little bit of the Kronk and a little bit of the old way.
That's what I'm saying. He's still got the legs. He's still got the legs. If he has, he's the best in the world. But if he can't go back on them legs and he goes forward to these big punches, he's gonna get found out. But if he goes back to his legs and he can mix it up, he's the best in the world.
But that's the thing. He can't do this. He can't do this leaning split against Dillian Whyte. That leaning, the clinching, that's not going to work with the bigger guys because Wilder's skinny. Like, he has like chicken legs. This leaning style is not going to work with every fighter. Dillian Whyte's a heavy guy himself. He's strong as well. He's not going to be easily intimidated with his leaning, unclinching style. It's not going to work.
Hey, by the way, can I just say real quick? Can I just say real quick? Shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Al morro, Mr. Chibi, no se le dio la escuela, ¿verdad?" Ah, shit. Okay, well, Chibi, they're going after you in the chat, but shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution with the super chat. Chibi, I think people, LT's got his supporters out there, and they're looking to pin you into a bit of an alley fight. But we'll see if we can work that out, man.
Sorry about that. Now, what you were saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, listen. The point is this: I wanted to move on a little bit from the Fury Whyte thing, and move on to all right. Because last time it was Friday, it was the day before Gary Russell Jr. versus Magsayo. And we were talking about how it seems like Gary Russell Jr. was making excuses already from the get-go. He had about 3 or 4 excuses. And lo and behold, he ended up injuring himself and he lost the fight. Now there's people out there saying, well, let's commend Gary Russell Jr. for fighting that way. And then they compare that to Lomachenko. And they were saying, people praised Lomachenko when he fought injured. But if I remember correctly, people were actually making fun of Lomachenko, saying, "Fuck him! If he was an idiot for going there injured." Hold on, let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. Yeah, he said, because Lomachenko went in there injured, and people said, "Well, fuck him. He was arrogant enough to think he was going to be able to pull it off with one arm. He didn't have a rematch clause. Blah blah blah. So fuck him." So. Why all of a sudden now should Gary Russell Jr. get that much praise? I mean, shouldn't we keep it level here and have the same standards?
No, listen. As a Lomachenko fan, I blame him for going. I blame anybody who goes in with an injury, then loses, and then try to blame the injuries like Pacquiao with Floyd. If you know it's that important, just pull out. If you go in and you lose, just deal with it. That's my attitude.
Yeah, I thought there's an arrogance about.
Man, he's playing victim.
I can't even.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Jimmy's saying, "Life just isn't fair." He should have known better, anyways, not to go in there. Because when he first was starting to say all these things, I thought he was just trying to make excuses. Like he was trying to say, "Oh, this and that," just in case if he lose the fight. But once it happened, it was just like, "Yo, man, there's nothing really he can do." Like, you feel me? Like if he knows about
this is what happens when you have one fight fucking every 2 years, man. You know, you have to when your fight does come up, you're going to have to fight with an injury because you can't afford not to fight because you haven't fought for 2 years and you need paying. That's what it is. He's gone for but he's been a liberty to boxing. I don't feel sorry for Gary Russell Jr. I want him out of boxing. He's an absolute fucking clown that's took the piss. No respect for the sport. He does it for money, and karma's come to bite him. So no, I don't feel no way for Gary Russell. Pity he didn't get knocked the fuck out, if you ask me.
Stu, he won 10-2 rounds. He won. He got robbed, didn't he, Stu?
You guys have all heard of muscle memory. I'm sure you guys have all heard of that. And it's the same when you box all the time. Like, you can lift weights. I said, I think last week on the show, you can lift weights all you want. You can have a great six-pack, look great. But that doesn't fuck with your connective tissue. Connective tissue is built up through movement. When I say built up, it gets like, you know what I mean? It strengthens in certain ways. And when you fight, you're using connective tissues on your shoulder girdle, you know, that you're not using any other time. And Gary Russell doesn't even spar. He came out and said, no, I don't even. The reason why I've been longevity, I mean, this is ridiculous, but he said, it's because I don't even spar unless I get a fight contracted. So that means he went over 2 years without even sparring. So what happened? That injury that he claims he had, what happened? You could see it slow. I mean, there's video out there. It's slow-mo. It comes right down. He punches him in the deltoid, and it popped his shoulder out of the joint because he doesn't have the connective tissue of a fighter.
Bro, you are bang on. I'm telling you, as an old man, I boxed all my life, and as you get older, it wears and tears, and it breaks. It just breaks. And like, when you think that you get in your late 30s and you think you can still have that snap and that quick, it don't. It breaks. It breaks. 100%. You are bang on there, bro. Bang on. And if you leave it for a while and not doing it regular, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble.
Well, can I say too? I mean, it's one thing to, because he got injured in there. I mean, you can see that they were punching at the same time, and it's true. People don't understand how hardcore, how taxing boxing can be on the body. I mean, even if you're shadow boxing, some people suggest that when you shadow box that you do not fully extend your shots because you can pull some ligaments in there if you're not warmed up properly. So now imagine during a fight, especially that was very poignant what you said there, Jimmy. That
that's true, BDA.
I got something to say, bro.
Yeah, BDA, that's true. It's like when Ryan Burnett was fighting Nonito Nairi. You swing at the air, and you can pull something. And people do.
Hey, I was gonna also say though that with Gary Russell Jr., I mean, okay, it's one thing for him to be injured and all that, but for him after the fight to say that he won 9-3, 10-2, I mean, that's when it gets a little bit ridiculous too. I mean, I understand fighters are salty after a fight, but
you can't remember. He's entitled. He's an entitled American fighter with PBC. I mean, they just turn up, expect to win without throwing a punch. I mean, he's probably in shock. He goes, I thought you guys had my back here. You can imagine it, can't you? I mean, it's just in shock because the corruption weren't there when the scorecards were read out. Look,
bro, let's not forget, bro. Magsayo is the best thing since Pacquiao, bro. Let's not fucking forget that. Come on,
wait a minute. You're going a little too far, man.
Bro, the kid's gonna leave Manny Pacquiao way behind. This kid is more fucking talented, faster, collapses the pocket even faster. I mean, you guys have no fucking idea what this kid is coming.
LT, have you been?
Manny Pacquiao is nothing compared to this guy, bro.
Hey, yo, LT, I'm glad you're here. I had a question to ask. I heard your boy Oscar Valdez acting like a pussy to sign that contract. What's going on there?
Yeah, but because fucking Oscar Valdez is Shakur Stevenson asking for a 26-foot ring, bro. 26 by 26-foot ring, and come on, bro. That's what
don't do that. Don't do that. That right there.
Is he asking for? Is he asking for
that's what I heard too, bro. Come on, bro.
No, seriously, is he asking for the 22? Is he asking for the 22-footer? That's, I believe, the biggest. That is big for a group that size. I wouldn't okay that.
Yeah, it's fucking big, bro. Come on, bro. What do you want? Let's run a race track or what?
You can punch the guy up. You can punch the guy up. Just take the ring size. Just look what Canelo done when Saunders played it. Saunders giving it all. I went, just have it.
Well, this guy's like way taller, lengthier than fucking 130-pounders, bro. Come on, let's be honest.
Bro, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, man.
If you can beat the guy's ass, you'll take the ring. If you can beat the guy's ass, you will take that ring. Come on, bro.
Like a lot of excuses, man. He sounded like a defense to me.
Why don't we make it like an 18 by 18 or 20 by 20? I mean, if there are no excuses, why does it have to be?
The only thing I'm saying, Oscar Valdez sound like he's the only person that's coming with excuses. I mean, why won't he just take the fight? Was he scared of him or something? I mean, if he's so good as you say, a 22 by 22.
I remember when Caleb Plant came up. Oh, Canelo's coming up with so many excuses.
Man, listen, we can talk about what Canelo did in the past all day, but we talking about what's going on April 30th. Now, this fight's gonna get postponed because your boy's acting like a bitch, or are they gonna fight? What's going on?
Well, let me tell you what's acting like a bitch, all right? Crying in fucking Olympics, like, that's acting like a bitch, bro. Let's not fucking forget it, right?
I love how you answer my question with an insult. Just be real. I'm just, bro. If you don't have the answer, all I'm saying, if you don't have the answer, LT, just be honest. Like, I don't know, man. I guess he is just a pussy. Just be real. That's all I'm asking, bro. Like,
pussy's asking for a 22-foot ring, bro. Let's be fucking honest.
But I'm just saying, like, bro. Listen, all I'm saying, okay. Let's say okay.
Bro, are you there to fight or are you there to run?
Bro, first off, we already know he's not gonna run. And second off, all I'm saying, I'm just asking the question, like, if he's so good and he's knocking everybody out,
it's because he's not there to run.
But this is the thing: if Oscar Valdez is so good and he's just so phenomenal, that shouldn't be a problem for him, though.
Who's being said that he's the good, bro. He's the slickest. He's the best thing since Mayweather. He's a pound for pound material number one.
Bro, you did not answer my question. Bro, all I want to know, I'm just asking from Oscar Valdez fans, why is he acting like a pussy and not just signing that contract and getting him out the way since it's easy work?
Let's not forget, bro. Right? Oscar Valdez fans wouldn't say he's acting like a pussy, though, Chiba. They would say he's as the A side, meaning he's had the champion longer. He's had better competition. So as the right, like every fight's the reason why those people.
I love you, Jimmy.
No, but let me just finish. I'm just saying. He's the A side as far as the negotiations, because what do you go by? The amount of people they brought in? You go by the titles, you go by who's been champion longer, not by anybody's feelings. I'm just saying in negotiations, even if they didn't say A side, they would say 50. They would say 50-50. Okay, let's just say 50-50. But that's the reason why a fight doesn't take 3 days, especially between two champions, to get the fight done. Those are things they squabble over. Personally, if I was Valdez, being the banger, the one who's supposed to be going into the puncher fighter, you would want a smaller ring. It's beneficial for you to have a smaller ring. Why is it beneficial? It would almost seem, I'm just saying, Chibi, right? I'm just being honest, devil advocate. They could say, why is Shakur being a bitch and wanting a big ass ring? If he's so good,
all right, listen,
why can't he beat him in a phone booth if he's so talented?
All right, listen, okay, Jimmy, check me out, Jimmy. I love you, but don't be a superhero. Listen, I was asking him questions, okay? I knew if I would ask you, this question, Jimmy, you would have a logical answer for it. You know, that's why I didn't ask you this question.
The fucking same, dumbass. What fucking changed?
Whoa, no insults, bro.
Hey, it's Friday, man.
You know, all I'm saying, at the end of the day, only thing I'm saying is right now, if that's the case, right now, as hungry as Shakur Stevenson is, he wouldn't even care. He would say, okay, make the ring smaller, whatever it takes.
Yeah, guys. Hold on. Hold
on. Let's calm down. Let's talk.
Say something.
Let's say something. Yes.
The one thing I will say about these ring sizes, I just don't get why a ring's the same size in every fight. Like the octagon, the UFC don't change the fucking size of the cage to suit certain fighters. I mean, unless if you want a 23 foot he wanted, I mean that tells me he's on the run, because like Jimmy said, I mean if he's confident that he can beat Valdez, he'll do it in a 16-foot ring. You know, at the end of the day, these big rings, I don't like them, because you get these back foot fighters that just run. It's quite easy to run from someone for 12 rounds. Ask Malik Scott. He did it 10 rounds. He did it against Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz couldn't run the glove on the guy. He was like Linford Christie that day. right, Scott, it's easy to run. If you've got good footwork and foot speed, you can just run, and it makes the fight horrible. I don't understand why these big rings, they're letting these fighters go in these big rings. I should think 20-foot ring would be fair to everybody.
Listen, I'm curious because I didn't look up why. All I know is I heard that he just don't want to sign the contract. Now, are we 100% positively sure that's the reason why he don't want to sign that contract?
About everybody. Who want to sign the contract, bro? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Well, at the end of the day, PSK, go ahead.
If it's like a 4-foot increase in the length and width, that just opens up another lane. That's more than a meter wide. That just opens another lane for a fighter that can move the ladder.
But at the end of the day, we're still fighting. At the end of the day, they're still fighting two-dimensional.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, can I just say something real quick? Can I just let me just interject here, please. Let me just interject.
Are we like coloring books?
Let me just interject here real quick. Shout out to Dirty Red for his contribution to the super chat. And Dirty Red says, "How long is it going to be an open panel? I would love to join, but I got to finish this last fight on Fight Night Champion." Well, Dirty Red, we're still good for about a half an hour here, right? So if you want to jump in between that time, you're free to do so. And shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution. He says, Mr. Chibi está bueno para vender tamales. Wait, what's wrong with selling tamales, man? Boxing Expert.
I'm playing Fight Night Champion too.
Selling tamales, meaning, como vieja argüendera that will sell you anything.
Oh,
that's not nice. Or anything.
That's not nice.
Chibi.
But listen,
where did you get this story about the ringside?
Man, listen, that's what I'm trying to figure out because I didn't hear that. Like, is this 100% fact? That's the reason why he don't want to sign the contract?
It's made up.
Hey, he doesn't want to sign the contract. That's all you heard. Right.
I've got a solution for you guys. If Shakur wants a big ring, let Valdez have his herbal tea. There you go, win-win.
Oh,
and then
bro, listen, man. Listen, we already know that. We already know for a fact.
Hold on, bro. Don't bring the herbal tea, bro. Because let's not forget, bro. Shakur Stevenson is with Snack, with fucking Brick Conti, the biggest fucking cheater ever, bro. All right, so
listen. We're not going to talk about Oscar's steroid taking Valdez drug problem. All I'm saying is you don't have 110. You don't have 100% facts. That's the reason why he didn't sign that contract. Now, if you show me that, I'll be like, oh, okay.
100% facts, bro. Tell me, what's your 100% facts? Run into Fight Hub? Like, fucking Shakur's the one that fucking manages his fucking career, bro. Stop acting dumb, bro. You know that he has a fucking manager and a promoter ahead of him, all right? So don't act like fucking Shakur's the one that's calling the shots and shit. Be fucking
I'm not saying that. Listen, we all know who the A side is, but just the A side but all I'm asking,
whatever Shakur says is the law, bro. Just get the fuck out of here, bro.
Okay, but see, this is what I'm asking. You still haven't answered my question. You keep saying.
And why? Your question is why is Valdez acting like a bitch? And I told you, bro. Let me tell you what's acting like a bitch. All right, asking for a 22-foot fucking ring. That's a.
How do we know he's asking for a 22? How do we know he's asking for a 22-foot ring in the contract? Because I haven't heard this. Is this fact?
You know Valdez ain't signed the contract yet.
LT, are you in the LA area?
Yeah, bro.
Did you guys see the news? What happened on the news in LA? Five white dudes got lynched. They're saying that it's the start of the Civil War.
All right, what does this have to do with Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson?
This don't got nothing to do with Oscar.
Don't care.
He's saying CNN, man. This CNN. I mean, what is CNN?
This don't have nothing to do with Oscar steroid taking Valdez.
All right, hold on. Chibi, I gotta interject here. First of all, Valdez was not caught with steroids. He was caught with a diuretic, and it was a technical. Because of the fucking bureaucracy of these assholes, they let the fight go on when it shouldn't have gone on. That's number one. So he cheated, but it wasn't a steroid. Number two, Shakur Stevenson has never been caught with anything, but I think LT brings up there's a good point when he says that there's smoke there. The guy was with Snack. He looks bigger than Terence Crawford. He doesn't look like super featherweight. I mean, I think, you know what? Like I always say, let both guys take whatever they want, make it an even playing field, and see who comes out on top. Is that a fair compromise?
Well, see, this is the
Jesus
thing,
Christ.
and like I said, B-Day, the only thing is this: we don't have diuretic or not, we don't have no proof of him having something, Shakur Stevenson having something in his system that is illegal to fight. But we know for a
That's
fact
a
that's
fair
what
point. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah, but you
That's a
think? I
fair
mean, if I
point.
were
He
to,
ain't been caught.
Coming from a guy, Black Sheevy, who defended fucking Deontay Wilder to the bone, saying that Tyson Fury cheated.
Well,
And the
I never
evidence was
said Tyson
everywhere.
Fury. I never said Tyson Fury cheating. The evidence was
Yes,
everywhere.
yes,
They
yes,
asked me that
bro.
question.
Don't fucking
No, they asked me that
contradict
question a
yourself.
long time
You
ago,
were the
and
one
that's when I first.
complaining in all
No,
the
that right
channels,
there.
bro.
Stop
I
that.
saw you,
No,
bro. Come
no, I
on, man.
didn't. I said that. One thing that I said is I think that Tyson Fury is a dirty fighter. Yes, but I did not say that he did that whole glove bullshit or anything.
Right? You said you cheated?
I said he's a dirty fighter. I will take
No,
and I
but
always said that.
you cheated before. Come on, bro. Now you're changing
No,
your
I never
story?
said. No,
Oh,
I never said. I never said. Listen, we can go all the way back to that. I never said he was a cheater. I never, bro. And on top of that, bro. Listen, on top of that,
cheated. Right, I get it, bro. I get it.
bro. I
Right,
never
I get
said
it.
that. You just putting words in my mouth, LT. You just mad because your boy Oscar Valdez is scared. Just be real. Like, I just want to know, bro. Like, it's like you have no answer
Bro,
for why he
if
won't.
you want to be real, bro, pay my homie Johnny Blaze his fucking bet. You lost, bro.
Oh,
Right,
wait,
pay
what?
his fucking bet.
Let's go. Hold on. Let's go back to that.
I'm not gonna have no choice but to pay him regardless. But
Pay
that
that
doesn't
shit,
have
Chibi.
nothing to
Hey,
do.
Chibi,
That has
pay
nothing
that
to do with
shit,
Oscar
Chibi.
Valdez
Pay that
not taking that fight.
Hey, the Chibi's gotta pay their debt. That's the saying, right? That's the slogan from your family.
Pay that
You got-
shit, Chibi. Hey,
Yes,
real
sir.
talk.
I do owe him a debt.
Pay that
Hey,
shit.
Johnny Blaze, my homie, he's dead, bro. You made
Pay
a
it,
bet,
yo.
now you own it.
Like, I have no problem with that. You feel me? But what I'm saying is that has nothing to do with what I was just talking to you about.
Don't play with nobody's money, Chibi. Don't play with nobody's money. Pay that shit, Chibi.
All right. Well,
No,
listen.
that's
I'm
what
going to
I
interject.
said,
All right,
bro.
forget the
But like
money.
I said,
Listen,
I was gonna do that regardless. But what I'm trying to, I was just asking the question.
fellas. This
All
ain't
right,
the
that's
street.
all I was doing.
All right, this ain't the street corner. We're not going to be talking about bets. All right, listen. Here's the other thing I want to talk about. I remember 2 weeks ago, people were complaining, both sides. Shakur Stevens, Valdez doesn't want the fight. Bob Arum is protecting him, even both he promotes both guys. Then they ended up seriously negotiating for it. Now it's rumors. Again, rumors. We don't have a source, an official source, about that they're bickering over the ring size. So this is what happens. It's every week. It's going to be something it's going to be an issue, and people are going to place way too much attention on it because it's good for content. But at the end of the day, the likelihood is the fight happens. So let's stop bickering over the size of the ring when the fight's probably going to happen. Number 3, because we're running out of time here. I wanted to get to Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade moving up to 168. He's going to be fighting a guy by the name of Zachary. What's the guy's name again? Scott Zachary or something Zachary. Big guy.
Parker.
Parker, yes, thank you. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He can go to the body pretty well, but he's never fought anybody like Andrade. Now some people are defending Andrade.
Zach Parker shit.
Let him.
Well, some people are saying now that Andrade. Yeah, some people are saying that Andrade is a pussy because he's avoiding Janibek. Other people are saying, well, Canelo avoided him, so why can't he do the same to try to get that big payday? What do you guys think? Who's in the right here?
What is on? I
was going to say real quick. It's a classic. It's a swerve to preserve. He swerved Janibek because he could lose his O and then would lose his line in the Canelo sweepstakes. Somebody tweeted that out, and they were right on the money.
Payday.
To Steve Kim, he coined that phrase, swerve to preserve. I think that's perfect. He's swerving the tough fight, a potential loss with no big fucking money on it, and would blow up his big money fight. And I think it's a duck, no matter what you call it. Instead of fighting that kid, beating him, and then people would demand the Canelo fight, including Canelo fans. You see what I'm saying? Build your own legacy instead of coat riding somebody else's, standing there with your hands out. Please pick me next. It's embarrassing.
100% to me. I agree with you. It's such a
I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I kind of agree. I do kind of agree with that.
One at a time.
I agree. I agree that he should have just took that fight. Because at the end of the day, if Canelo don't want to fight him, bro, it's other fights to make. Now, it could be a good thing though that he did go up to that weight class, because I did hear, which I don't know if it's true or not, that Jamal Charlo and Canelo's trying to do negotiations with Cinco de Mayo, and I guess he's just trying to get next in line to fight him next. But everybody keep on forgetting we got a whole demon in that weight class, David Benavidez. Like, and I think that so it's going to be a thing that they might make it a thing where they're going to tell Demetrius Andrade
but that wasn't the question.
Benavidez.
That was stylistically, Janibek is all wrong for Demetrius Andrade in my opinion, because he's consistent with the amount of punches he throws, and Demetrius Andrade will lose length in the sense that the other guy's tall and lanky, so he wouldn't be able to do what he does to shorter guys.
That's a good point.
And Coppenjinger was just doing Coppenjinger again. Just want to say there is no negotiations. That's an out Coppenjinger lie, because his team came out and said we're not in negotiation with anybody right now. That was just Coppenjinger shilling for Heyman, trying to get the fucking fight talked about.
Well, that's a shame.
Is it guaranteed? Is he guaranteed to land the Canelo fight if he takes that fight? Let's say he wins, or
It's WBO mandatory technically when he moves up to 168, but I don't think that does mandatory is going to be enforced for Canelo. I gotta say, this is really frustrating to see, because this was the first fight, the Janibek fight, where I heard any interest in Andrade fight since he's been at middleweight, or really his whole career. And for him to duck this guy, it just makes no sense. Like, this is the only chance that this is the only like name building fight he could have, which is, in my opinion, the only way he would ever land a Canelo fight. Because I think the sanctioning bodies would support Canelo regardless, and I think he has it out for that guy. And I think Triple G won't fight him, no matter, like, pretty much. Just, I mean, that could be a viable route though if he beat Janibek. So this is a pretty big duck. And
well, Triple G still has to get past Murata, right? I mean, I think they're still under contract to fight each other. So
rumors are he's retiring after Murata. That's what I was told.
It would surprise me.
He's 40 years old. I mean, I think he should have retired 2 years ago, personally. But I don't like seeing these guys now. Like, let's be honest. Charlo from 2014 to 2017 wouldn't use words with the letter G in it for fear it would sound like Gennady. But now that he's fucking 39, where's Gennady at? Where you at? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, by the way, I want to get Del Boy here, Blue Collar Sports TV. I want to get Blue Collar Sports TV in here, who just dropped by. He doesn't drop by often. Del Boy, you there?
Yeah. What's up, man?
How you doing, man? Thank you for dropping by. Hold on.
Yeah,
let me mute. Hold on. Let me mute Leighton, because he's Leighton. I gotta mute you, man, because you're talking in the background there. We can hear you. But go ahead, Del Boy. What do you think about this whole Andrade situation? Because there seems to be people are split on this issue.
I mean, to me, it's cut and dry. They've Andrade, Eddie Hearn, DAZN. They've been marketing Andrade as the most avoided man in the middleweight division. Nobody wants to fight him.
Hold on. Fight the spirit. Don't interrupt.
I'm a big fan.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Yeah, but they've been marketing him as the most avoided guy in the middleweight division, right? Nobody wants to fight him. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, we have Janibek, who's willing. He's been calling for this fight for more than 12 months now. Worked his way to a Mando. And as soon as Andrade has a mandatory that doesn't suit him, he wants to pull out, man. I mean, Janibek, 11-0, he does nothing for Andrade. What did Jason Quigley do for Andrade, who lost to Turiano Johnston? He's a bum. Jason Quigley, Arthur Akavov, Luke Keeler, these guys were easy paydays, easy money, low risk, high reward. Janibek is not one of those guys, and guess what? Andrade vacates. Just like he signed up for Jamel Charlo back in 2014, pulled out because of lack of money. He signed for that fight and he pulled out. Andrade is just a spoiled brat, and he's fighting Zach Parker, who fucking lost. He lost to fucking Darryl Williams, a gift decision against Darryl Williams. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And these guys. So let me say something, bro.
Hold on. Let Del Boy finish. Let Del Boy finish.
Just a curious question that I wanted to ask. Can we
Chibi, please.
One more thing. So the Andrade fans are allowing Andrade to skip his Mando, to go to 168 to obtain a Mando position, and they expect Canelo to obligate that Mando. So isn't that hypocrisy? You expect Canelo to fight his Mando, but not Andrade. And what does Andrade do for Canelo? Fuck all.
Exactly, bro. Will Andrade definitely get the Mando if he beats that guy?
Probably not.
Bro, let me say something, bro. Let's not forget, bro. And this is like, let's not forget, bro. Boo Boo Andre, bro, has been ducking white, undefeated prime fighters, bro, and that is the truth.
No, but honestly,
but
that
Eddie Hearn
Andre
is really the guy.
No,
Go
real
ahead.
quick. So that Andre Parker fight won't happen. I bet you it will not happen at all. Not that anyone is ducking. There's nothing in that fight. That WBO bout will go vacant once Canelo moves up to 175 or whatever he decides to do. And secondly, somebody brought up Benavidez. Benavidez is not going to stay at 168. As soon as Canelo moves to 175, Benavidez is moving up. So that's another moot point because I think he's already struggling at 168, and B, if the money fights at 175 with Canelo, why would Benavidez stay at 168? So I just think Andre's ducking Janibek. Andre won't fight Parker because there's no money in that fight. And then thirdly, Benavidez will move up. So I think that covered all the different points I think somebody brought up.
But what's to stop Canelo
I think that fight actually. I think that fight does go through.
I'm
because
looking
the
at
guy
it as
who's
the same
really
way how
everything here is
This is
Eddie
the equivalent
Hearn.
of
Eddie
Canelo
Hearn,
having to fight Morrell.
Eddie Hearn.
Well, I think it's more of a thing that he's doing the same exact thing that Canelo did. You feel me? I mean, if we can accept that Canelo did it, well, listen, all I'm saying. Well, that's how us Andrade fans are going to see it regardless. I mean, like,
and you're seeing it 100% wrong. You're seeing it through your heart, not your eyes. One guy just went out and unified the division in 12 months, fights 4 times a year. Probably needs back surgery from carrying this fucking sport on his back. So to say this kid from Rhode Island, who I've known since the amateurs, who's done nothing but duck tough fights and run his mouth on Twitter, is doing the same thing as Canelo, come on, brother. That's a fucking insult.
Does anybody want to see?
Does
anybody want to see Canelo?
Hold on. One at a time. Everyone's talking at the same time, fellas. Cardo, go ahead.
I just want to say, look how ridiculous it sounds that Canelo versus Demetrius Andrade on Cinco de Mayo. That's a waste of a fucking holiday.
Nobody wants to see it. Nobody.
Now you trying, my dog. Like I would love to. I would love to see that fight, and I would buy that fight. I think that would be a great fight.
You would probably be the only one though that buys it.
Free on fucking the zone. How are you gonna
Guys, real quick. So Chibi, Andre's gonna move up. Who's he gonna fight at 168? The only person he wants to fight is Canelo, who's moving to 175, and the only person who people would want him to fight after that will be Charlo, who doesn't want to fight at 160. So what's the fucking point of him moving up? He'll have no big money fight. He'll have no unifications. He'll fight for a vacant bout if he fights Parker. Literally makes no sense other than fighting Janibek. But why is he not doing that?
Yeah. But ESK, this is what I wanted to say to you. Like, I think the thing that you're not considering is that Eddie Hearn plays into this situation, right? Because he's been overpaying Andre for years. And so him moving up is actually great for him because he's going to make the same amount of money fighting all these bums that he's been making. And so there's no incentive for him to actually fight anyone at all. And knowing that he's not going to get the Canelo fight means he might as well not fight anyone for the rest of his career. Already being 33, 34.
No, but there's probably more riskier fights on 168, considering nobody's fighting on 160 anyway, other than Janibek. There's no other fights for him. This is all there. I'll tell you what this is. This is to allow Janibek and Munguia to potentially have a fight eventually, because that would be a good fight at 160 for that vacant bout, should Munguia actually do something. So it works out for the zone, I'd say, if Andre moves up, because who's Andre going to really fight? He's not going to fight Charlo, who will also move up. But Canelo's not there. Tell me, who at 168 will Andre fight? Like, generally, for a legacy-defining world title fight, who?
Kenshiro, go ahead.
Was Andre actually done in his career, or what the hell is, to actually warrant that he gets to fight, or he wants to fight Canelo and gets that shot?
Well, can I answer that? Can I answer that? Because I remember back in the day, Winky Wright was a guy that nobody wanted to fight him. And none of the big names actually, and even when he fought, there was a time when he struggled with a guy like JC Candelo, who wasn't really all that good. Then he struggled against Angel Hernandez. He looked sloppy, and people were saying, "What the fuck's going on with this guy? He's the boogeyman." Then he steps up there against Mosley and Trinidad, and he beats them. So on the one hand, look, Andrade has been playing victim a little too long, but at the same time, even though sometimes he doesn't look always all that good, he still keeps winning. So just based on that, doesn't he deserve some sort of a big fight against somebody?
Depends who you're winning against, though.
Well, I mean, Zulensky's good.
I think people would have asked for that big fight if he would have went out and took care of Janibek. Imagine if we would have went out and knocked out Janibek, which, I mean, he probably would have beat him on points if he beat him, but then people would have said, okay, this kid's for real. But right now, what do we know about him? Besides that he got put on his ass and went life and death with Martirosyan, who Triple G annihilated in 3 rounds.
Jimmy, what did Yildirim do to get the Canelo fight? And don't say he was the mandatory.
What's
he
that?
beat nobody to get that mandatory. How did
Who's that?
Yildirim become? How did Yildirim become?
Let me explain it. Well, how did he become the mandatory? But was he a mandatory?
He's coming off like 2 losses, right? How did he get mandatory?
I don't know. I didn't work for the belts. I don't know if Canelo's people wanted it. Let me finish. But
I think it was the voluntary defense.
All right, so a voluntary. But he also fought. Now you're taking away the other 3 fights. So what he wanted to do, smart, knowing that the reason why boxers were so much better back in the day is because they fought the same reason why after fucking Julio fought the fucking kid in 90, that war, he fought 2 nondescript guys around 3 championship fights to stay busy. It was a stay busy fight. And when you're fighting world champions, undefeated world champions in between, you get to do that. But you don't get to do that when that's all you do. You see what I'm saying? He's earned the right to have a fucking soft touch. None of these other motherfuckers have earned that right.
Yes. So who asked the question?
Andrade be that soft touch then.
So who asked the question about Yildirim? Sorry, just to.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, Redbreed. So you got to remember. Do you not remember the Darrell Yildirim fight where Yildirim was perceived to be in a position where he could have won the fight, and the fight got stopped due to some kind of cut or something, and they got petitioned to the WEC before Darrell fought Benavidez. So Yildirim was owed that mandatory way before he fought Canelo, and he stepped aside to allow Smith and Canelo to fight. So you're creating revisionist history to prove some kind of narrative about Canelo where that's not clear.
Isn't Yildirim Canelo sparring mate?
So what? Was he the mandatory before Canelo?
Also, Canelo asked for this fight.
But you missed the point. Canelo fought Smith. Canelo fought Smith, who was WBC Diamond champion. Yildirim was already mandatory at the time due to the shot he was owed because of that Darrell fight. So what's that got to do with Canelo? That mandatory happened before Canelo moved up. So what's that got to do with Canelo? If Yildirim was already the mandatory, decided to step aside to allow Canelo to fight Smith first. He was still owed the mandatory before Canelo moved up.
That's the big point. That's the big point here too. Is like when they announced that Yildirim Canelo fight. Initially, I was like, man, what the fuck is this shit? But then when I heard that he was going to be fighting a month and a half later or 2 months later and take on Billy Joe Saunders, I said, okay, it's just a fucking tune-up. I mean, he wasn't. Did people really expect him to fight Andrade and then 2 months later fight what's his name? Billy Joe Saunders? I mean, that's a pretty hectic schedule right there. Be that as it may, look, Andrade, you got to give him credit for winning, but at the same time, you can't blame him. I mean, you can't blame other people, superstars, for not wanting to fight that dude. I mean, when he does step up against B-level guys, that his best wins. I mean, he went life and dead with Liam Williams. And it wasn't even that he went life and dead because they were both exchanging or whatever. He spent a lot of time just clinching and running. And that's not, I mean, how do you market that?
I mean, can we really say that Andrade is any worse than the last 3 guys Canelo has fought?
Yeah.
Like a clear...
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, if that's the case, then
I'm not talking about
talent-wise.
Talent-wise. I'm talking about like his attitude sucks. He's a loser. He's always been. When I look at him,
true. But
when I look at him, I have no interest. I have zero interest in him.
Recognize.
That guy comes out
because he doesn't come to fight. He don't come to fight. He ducks. He ducked Lara. He ducked little Charlo. He's ducking this Janibek guy. He's a ducker. That's all he is. He just wants to have a payday.
I don't understand why, Andrade never fought anybody at 160 like any other big names. And all of a sudden, like Canelo, who's now at 168, has to give him a shot. Like why Canelo? Why not these other guys? Like it's pathetic.
And who's got ass beat by Vanez? He turned into like a chump, man. He turned soft.
And who's got a better resume, Saunders or Andrade? Like at 160, who had the better resume? Yeah, I know, by a mile. So you can only.
Doesn't always mean a better fighter, though.
So
I think the best way to even look at it is when they had when we look at the people that Canelo Alvarez fought the last 4 people, you say okay, well who did they fight? And then look at who Andrade has fought as well. I mean, if we're gonna say that they're in the same bracket, then this should just be an easy work fight for Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez.
Why waste your time? Why waste your time?
Canelo
Why would you want to waste
Alvarez.
your time on that? Yeah.
Not only that, Canelo Alvarez has bigger fights to make. You got to understand when.
That's my point.
Andre doesn't scream out big fight. There are other fights he can have. First of all, Andre is ducking. He's about to duck a mandatory instead of if he was to go in there and really show and prove and like dominate this guy. Who knows? Maybe he could. I have no idea. All right, but I know one thing.
Canelo even less willing to fight him.
No, that's what you think. That's what you think because if he goes in there and he wins and he excites the fans, I think Canelo fans will be like, "Yo, you got to fight that dude." Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Recognize?
Sure.
When was the last time you seen Canelo take a fight after the guy looked good previously?
When was the last time I seen Canelo? I mean, listen. I'm no Canelo lover. I'm no Canelo lover, but
I know
he is the cash cow. He is the cash cow. People got to face up to it. Now, you gotta say Andre is not doing himself any favors by doing what he's doing. He ain't screaming for the fans. He's not out there, showing and improving in his fights and dominating to the point where they're like, yo, you gotta fight Canelo. Okay, there's other guys that much other people rather see. Charlo. I think most people rather see Charlo fight than Canelo.
No, my problem is not Andrade. I don't care if either him, Charlo, Bivol, Beterbiev, or Benavidez. Is that asking too much to fight one of those guys?
He probably will. That's the thing. He's gonna probably fight either like those names you just named. He's more likely gonna fight one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree with you that
there's money behind him. You understand something? The most money is behind. It's behind Canelo, so he can fight those guys.
So I did hear that they made Eddie Hearns and Al Hammond made a contract each for him, so it's either he can go and fight Bivol and Triple G, or he can go with Al Hammond and fight Jamal Charlo. Now, if it was me, I think he should fight Jamal Charlo, and the reason why is because the last fight that he was in, it wasn't a real great performance. So I think this is the best way. I think that's the best way that he could go, and then on top of that, he can still keep on doing his thing and cherry picking and whatnot.
I'm gonna say something.
Charlo had a great performance.
That's the American market, though.
Let Gonzalo. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is the thing with Canelo. You could pretty much surmise that right now is the peak of his prime. Iron sharpens iron. He's 31. He's a complete fighter. Why leave the tougher guys for a year or two more down the road when you can probably take those guys now and have a greater chance of beating them right now when you're in the peak of your prime? Line up those guys that you just mentioned and have them face the toughest of those 4. Have them face the toughest 2, and leave the weakest out of those 4 where they're not weak. But basically, what I'm saying, take the toughest test now because right now you're sharp enough because sharpens iron, and you're still like 31 before you become 32 or 33. He's gonna fight a tough fight next. It has to happen because he still has to establish something for his own legacy as well.
Yeah, but like none of these guys are fighting each other. They're still in the sweepstakes. They refuse to try to build up their name. Like none of these guys, Bivol, Beterbiev, Charlo, none of these guys are fighting each other. Benavidez, no one.
If you want to go back to Andrade, if he's dropping his belt, why does he not petition to become Charlo's mandatory at 160? Then Charlo's going to duck him
he can't.
if he doesn't.
He's not in that sanctioning body. He's in WBO. He's in the sanctioning body.
Then he's dropping the belt.
Start lower.
He's WBC. No, he's dropping the belt. So therefore, he can go in any sanctioning body once he's dropped the belt. All he's going to do is pay Mauricio Suleiman sanctioning fees, and he'll be top 10 immediately.
Well, I think he can move up and drop the belt.
mandatory. No, but Eddie Hearn says he can go to PBC. So if Andre's so confident that he'll beat Charlo, drop the belt, become the mandatory. Do a couple of final eliminators at the WBC. Get that stupid silver belt. If he's so confident and people are ducking him, go and do that, and then we'll see. These guys are just sitting around waiting for the Canelo Willy Wonka ticket, without actually doing the hard work.
Yeah, you know what? Can I just say
everybody's essentially backing everybody.
The super middleweight fight with Zach Parker is a WBO final eliminator. That's the title shot fight, and I don't think he would get that moving up for the WBC.
Can I say something here, fellas? Can I? I have to interject.
Say something.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. I have to interject. I have to read a couple of super chats. K-Not in the super chat says Andrade was stripped at one point for inactivity. Oh, and he puts a couple of laughing emojis there. So Andrade, I don't know the politics behind that, but that's what he said. Shout out to Dirty Red. He says, I'm unfamiliar with the Discord. Do I click on BD Box? Yeah, all you got to do is log into the Discord. You don't need...
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, man. It's like my second time using Discord in my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? But hey to everybody, how y'all doing? We talking.
Are you dirty? Are you Dirty Red?
Huh?
Are you Dirty Red?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Dirty Red. Yeah. I don't call into the show when you was using the phone number. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time. Well, my second time using Discord. But if you got any more super chats to read and everything like that, bro, keep it respectful with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I think.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm done with the super chats, and I think you've earned your right to speak here. So go ahead, man. What do you wanna talk about, or to say rather?
All right. Well, okay, we on Demetrius Andrade, right?
Yes.
Okay, Demetrius Andrade is ducking. Okay, Demetrius Andrade, and I hate to say it, because I'm a Demetrius Andrade fan, but what he's doing is common practice. We can jump down his throat if he wants to, but we can't act like this shit that he's doing right now is not common practice. He's trying to chase the bigger fights with the guys that's already established. Most noticeably, Canelo Alvarez, maybe Triple G, and Jamal Charlo. He's trying to chase down this fight. Now, while we're talking a whole bunch of shit about Demetrius Andrade, we cannot act like people have not been avoided and ducking and running and hiding and acting like they don't want to fight this guy. Okay, he's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the biggest things that's going on in boxing today. You got a guy that's a good fighter, but he has a difficult style. Certain people just don't want to fight that guy, namely Canelo Alvarez and Jamal Charlo. Like, they don't matter. And Jaime Munguia. Like, we can't ignore the fact that Jaime Munguia just how you duck a title shot? Like, come on now.
Listen,
yeah, Jaime Munguia.
Everybody ducking everybody. So
No, you're right. Andre does have a problem. The problem is he brings no revenue in. That's why nobody wants to go for it.
I think it's more of a thing. It's more of a thing that only like real boxing fans even know who Demetrius Andrade is, and that's the thing. Like no, that's it. Like it
takes two fighters to sell a fight, don't it? Unless your name is Mike Tyson or Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao.
Hey, does anyone know why he left the PBC? Does anyone know why he left the PBC? Because he would have been in line to at least get a Charlo fight or something. Instead, he goes to was he chasing the Canelo?
Andrade was never with the PBC. He never actually officially signed with Al Heyman. Okay. What happened with him is he signed with Rock Nation for obscene money when Rock Nation, another group, thought they were going to come in and take over boxing as a promotional outfit and realize it's ugly. And he got really screwed up. That really screwed him up. He listened to wrong people, and I was always backing him back then because, again, I felt he was being dicked around. They screwed him out of fights. They screwed him out of money. That's the reason why they pulled his title for inactivity then. My thing is this. If he would have fought that kid, because he has nobody he can lean on, just fucking take that Kazakhstan out. Fight that dude. Make it a war, and then people will demand it. Because Canelo's this way. I'm telling you right now, Canelo's people, I'll tell you exactly what they would say. Somebody just mentioned it. I don't want this next promotion to be 100% on my shoulders, meaning it's one of those, I could pick somebody from the stands, and it doesn't change the ticket sales. It doesn't change the amount of pay-per-view sales. Right now, without a title, without any real fucking buzz around his name, Andrade doesn't pull in the numbers. He doesn't pull in the fucking. So to Canelo right now, it's not. He's not scared of Canelo. I mean, if he fought Janibek and took him out, Canelo would want to fight him because then people would ask for it, and that would make more pay-per-view eyes. Because Canelo is like all of them are fucking motivated by money.
People been asking for the Charlo and the Benavidez fight for a minute too, but Canelo ain't make that happen. He went to go fight Mukura Matana.
Who's asking? Listen, you can ask for fights. You got to send out a contract, bro. It's about contracts. People can talk all they want. If your people aren't sending out contracts, the rest of it's all bullshit.
What is Andre's PBV?
Check this out, bro.
What's Andre's PBV?
There's certain guys with difficult styles that people just don't want to fight. You can't say that, if he does this, that, and the third, that, Canelo's going to want to fight him. That I don't believe that's true at all. You know what I mean? Because everybody's aware of Demetrius Andrade. Think about this. Demetrius Andrade and Canelo went viral, you know what I'm saying, after the Billy Joe Saunders fight. But the thing about it is certain fighters that have a large ecstatic fan base that's going to discredit other fighters. So the Canelo Alvarez fan base don't give a damn about Demetrius Andrade. If Canelo says he ain't shit, then he ain't nobody.
Well, it appears we have go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, let me ask you. I mean, you're saying Canelo doesn't want to fight Andre because of his skill set. Didn't you? He just fought that kid Williams, a domestic level talent, and even though he won, he was grabbing and clinching. Now, ask yourself: do you think he'd be able to get away without Canelo? Do you think he'd be grabbing and clinching? And if he can't figure out a domestic level talent like him, you think he's going to take out this kid who's probably on the best fucking medicines you can think of, coming out of Germany at the height of his career, 24 rounds against Triple G. I mean, let's be honest. The guy Triple G annihilated in 2 rounds. Andrade went life and death. So the things we can talk about are feelings. The things that are established fact. You look at the people he's fought and how he's fought them. Nothing in that fact says he has anything that's going to worry Canelo. That's just my
point, Jimmy. Styles make fights.
Exactly.
Well, that's not really. I agree, though, but that's.
Canelo say, when you hear a guy like Canelo say you're a horrible fighter, translation, you have a tough style for me, and I don't want to.
That's your opinion. That's not established fact. That's just your opinion. That's what it sounds like to you, bro. But that's just opinion. We just know facts. I just established facts. He went life and death with the fucking Martirosyan and got put on his ass by Martirosyan. The same dude, Triple G, literally beat like he owed him money. Then the next person Triple G fought. Let me finish. The next person after fucking Martirosyan did that. The next Triple G went from annihilating Martirosyan to going life and death with Canelo. My point being, Styles make fight. He's a lefty. He's slick. He doesn't have overwhelming punch power. Nothing that fucking Canelo hasn't seen a lot better of as far as power. And if he's going to clinch against Williams, he's going to fucking go to sleep against Canelo. Well, and I would put fucking anything on it if they do
fight.
Can
I interject here? Can I interject, fellas? I gotta interject because I think to summarize it here, there's a bit of a divide. On the one hand does Andrade deserve a shot because he keeps winning? Then on the other hand, you take in the context and go, well, why would Canelo fight Andrade if A, he's not a challenge by virtue of the fact that he's looked bad against some of his best opponents, and B, he doesn't bring in that much money, whereas Canelo, because right now, let's keep it in context here, Canelo apparently he's been offered by Matchroom or The Zone, I forget which one, a fight against either Bivol or Triple G, or both. So those
it's a two-fight deal.
It's a 2-fight deal. Okay, so it seems like he's looking at it, he's going, well, listen, Triple G already gave me hell twice. I want to wrap things up with him. And then, or before that, fight a guy, Bivol, who's a light heavyweight and who has a style that would trouble him as well. I mean, look, I think Jimmy brings up a good point. Andrade has continued to win, but at the same time, what's the point of fighting a guy? That's what Canelo's probably thinking. Why fight a guy who's looked bad against guys that he would probably run over? Because Canelo hasn't been inconsistent. Yeah. When he fights low-level opposition or lower level, he doesn't struggle, he doesn't clinch, he doesn't run. That's what Andrade is doing. So I think there's 2 points to be made on either side.
Listen, Andre,
when have you guys ever heard a fighter say another champion, in fact, is a terrible fighter? You never hear that. They usually have respect for other fellow champions. That to me tells me that he thinks he's He's a stylistic matchup.
I mean,
Listen,
with the
Andre, if anything-
with the lightweights, we hear that all the time. The lightweights are always calling each other terrible.
I know. Fucking Fury just called everybody
Canelo
pussies.
Alvarez.
Yeah, but
said
Fury's just
Canelo
playing.
Alvarez
He's
more
playing a character. He doesn't really mean that.
I think
Listen,
there's more to
Andre-
this than just like the tough style thing for Canelo, right? There's also the fact that Andre is a stinker.
Well, let me ask
Like, he doesn't,
hold
he doesn't
on,
bring the
Chibi,
fight.
Chibi.
He doesn't actually bring the fight. Like Andre has the capacity to just hold you for the duration of the fight, and then you get nothing out of that, even for your fans. Even in beating him, you could lose money.
It's
Listen,
basically the
Andre-
same. It's basically the same style that. Sorry, I don't know if you wanted to speak first. Go ahead.
Chibi was going to say something though. All right, let's listen. Chibi, then Gonzalo, then actually Chibi, then Kenshiro, and then Gonzalo. Chibi, go ahead. All right, let me go to who was the next. Kenshiro, go ahead, man.
Listen, man, there's no doubt about it. Andre, if anything, would have beat Canelo when it comes to speaking English and the interviews. And he couldn't even beat Canelo, then Canelo fucking embarrassed him at that point. So if you can't even, so forget that and just move on to the next one, I'd say.
All right, Gonzalo, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's Andre is similar to the opponents that Canelo has been facing that a lot of fans don't want to see him fight. He's a back foot fighter. He is dangerous maybe for the first 4 or 5 rounds, but after that, he starts losing power and he starts losing ideas. And that's why Plant got stopped, because he started losing like the idea of creativity on how to fight, because he didn't have enough firepower to sustain Canelo off. So that's Andrade. After 5 rounds, he starts losing power, and he also starts becoming clumsy because he's so long and lanky. He cannot keep his coordination as tight as he used to for the first 5 rounds. Then he starts becoming sloppy. And another thing, he starts dipping down where he's bending his waist, and that's prime for a Canelo punch that he landed similar to the one he landed on fucking Billy Joe Saunders and also Caleb Plant. When they dip down, you get caught with that upper hook. So that's just how we don't want to see him fight. He'll knock him out.
Gonzalo, who hits harder, in your opinion, Caleb Plant or Andrade?
Very similar in the sense that they could drop you within the first 5 rounds. But if you get up, you are not going to have the same. They're not going to have the same power.
Who's bigger?
Who's bigger? They're comparable. Maybe Andrade
isn't. Well, I think Plant is a little taller, but my point is very similar styles, and we've seen how that worked out. You can almost, Charlo has more power, I believe, than Andrade. And Andrade, Andrade is a talented kid. Don't get me wrong; he's a naturally gifted fighter, and I like him. I actually like him personally. I think he's a cool dude. You know what I mean? Everybody who's met him said Jimmy's like Mickey's met him. Actually, Mickey Ward likes him a lot. Mickey really likes fucking Andrade. He thinks he's a really good kid. So I hear nothing but nice things about him as a person. So I want to see him make money. I'm just being honest as a fan. I have no fucking emotional tie-ins on any of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd like to see the kid make bank and live happily ever after, because I hear he's a good dude.
Hey, fellas, can I say something? Fellas, can I say something real quick? Fellas, can I say something? Fellas, real quick.
I'm not saying,
fellas, real quick. I have to go, but there's a big but. Number one, first, thank you for being on, everybody. I appreciate it. Number two, you can stay here and keep talking. It's just we won't be on the air because I have to go. So you can stay here and keep hashing it up. Everybody out there, if you want to join the conversation, you can still join the Discord and talk. I want to thank everybody that dropped by, everybody that donated for the super chat. You guys know who you are. Thank you. It was a very stimulating conversation. Before we go, speaking of super chats, shout out to Rider of the Storm, who says Canelo will only fight Charlo for the money. He gains nothing fighting Charlo if he's preparing to move up to 175. That's why I think he might fight Benavides after only to prepare for 175. Well, that's one path he might take, Ryder. So shout out to you. Thank you for your contribution, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that listened to us. You know who you are. Eporokua, Marian G, McKinsey, Hulker Mustang, John McGregor, Reverend Pickles, and Hawker Mustang, and everybody else. You guys know who you are. I do have to go. Don't forget to hit the like on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Join the BDA Discord and join the conversation. And